curse word. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us today on DNC, Democratic National Convention, live reaction between Vince Dow and I. This is day 2. We're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you all so much for joining us in the chat. I'm going to put some of you guys up on screen. If somebody says, smash a like for Vince, smash a like for Chandler as well. You know, Chandler likes to get likes. If you're watching on my channel, thank you guys so much for joining. If you're watching on Vince's channel, thank you as well so much for joining. If you just came from our individual Instagram lives, thank you all so much for joining and listening to us, because we're going to have a lot of fun here tonight. Isn't that right, Vince?
Yes, there is. So I guess we'll just go right off the bat. I'm going to introduce. So last night we had a game where every time President Trump was mentioned by name or indirectly, we played this legendary clip right here.
Billions.
Of course, you got the billions, okay? And so we've decided, we added a new one tonight, actually. Every time Joe Biden's name is mentioned, we will be playing this clip.
I got hairy legs.
It's gonna be so hard for the DNC to get anything, for them to be taken seriously tonight, because every minute they have to talk about Biden, and they have to talk about Trump. It's just gonna be billions of hairy legs going on over and over again, shaking all around the screen, because that's what's gonna be happening.
Yeah. So if you guys want a serious coverage of the Democratic National Convention, this is not your stream. But if you guys,
no, not at all.
If you guys want to make it entertaining, because I think they really lost everyone the first hour was okay, and I think the second hour they really lost everyone. And tonight, I guess the headline speakers are Bill Clinton and Jill Biden, which, like, those are not very, very impressive to begin with. So if you guys want to have a fun stream and just have a fun time, this is your stream, guys, because we will be playing the game.
We're going to be having fun here. We're going to be making it interesting, just like we did during the Democratic debates. If you guys saw way back months ago, we sat there, we responded, we commentated over it, and we made them fun. And so that's what we're going to be doing here today, because that's what it's all about. We're trying to make this interesting for everyone, because the Democratic National Convention will just go on and on talking about racism, sexism, Islamophobia, homophobia, transphobia, all over and over again. And after a while, it just starts to drone on. I know plenty of people who were even watching our stream and still falling asleep because our antics and entertainment still wasn't enough to cover up that bland mess of entertainment or education, whatever they want to call it, information. I don't know what they're trying to call it. But what I do know is that we're going to make it fun for you guys, and I'm glad you guys are all joining us. The Democratic National Convention starts in a little over half an hour, so we're just going to talk about some things. We're going to have a conversation with all of everybody getting in here. But if you are getting in here, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't already, share this stream on all the platforms. You're always telling people, you know, you need to get politically active. Send them to us, because we're going to make it fun. We're going to make it interesting, and we're going to make it unique from everybody. All the other streams you're going to see it from, we're going to be more interesting than all of them. We're going to have fun.
Yep, most definitely. And we'll be doing this for every night of the convention. I'm guessing we're going to get the most viewers the first night and the last night, because these are like the dead nights. Like, who cares about night 2? They have when their main speaker is Bill Clinton and Joe Biden's wife. I don't think the interest is going to be very high. Oh, we got a super chat. Thank you very much, Gogurt.
Is that from my channel?
Yeah, well, it has to be, because I don't have.
Okay, I didn't know if anything changed or not, but thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Gogurt, and thank you for the support, and thank you to everybody who's leaving a like. Of course, people are saying hello. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. I always hate when it jumps like that, but I'm just trying to. I'm dying laughing. We have it. The laughter has only just begun, so stick around, and you're gonna have a great time with us all. Somebody said Bill Clinton can't even walk. Oh boy. Honestly, like when I saw Bill Clinton as a speaker, still, I was surprised. And I read a lot of articles about Bill Clinton, and people have just been absolutely upset that he's still a speaker. They see him as the past of the Democrat Party, not progressive enough for the Democrat Party. And honestly, I completely and totally understand that. We spoke about this yesterday night, that the Democrat Party is moving left, and then those that don't want to move left are being dragged with a noose, you know, getting dragged all the way to the left with them, because they have no other choice. Either they're a Democrat or you're a racist in their eyes. So they have no other choice. Either the Democrat Party moves left or it dies. And I think if they move left, they're going to die anyways. Go ahead.
It's a really interesting choice to me, because with all the Me Too stuff that's happened, and you have Bill Clinton, who, I mean, everyone sort of always kind of thought he was a rapist, but especially with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff coming out, you know, a few weeks ago, it's really odd choice to me. Like I guess I could understand Hillary, because she's a more modern figure in the party, but Bill himself, well, I don't know if the Me Too people are going to be exactly happy with that decision.
Yeah, especially with that picture that came out I believe earlier today or this morning.
Yeah.
It was of him getting massaged by one of Epstein's victims. And, I find it absolutely hilarious. Every single time we start to talk about Epstein and we start to talk about Clinton's ties and implications to it, the left always tries to find a way to say, oh no, but look at Trump, look at this document, look at this documentary on Netflix, which is totally not a biased source, despite the fact that they donate hundreds of millions of dollars to the Democratic National Committee each year. But that's unimportant. They donate that much money to the Democrat Party. That's not important. What's important is that they're telling the truth and that Trump's a rapist, despite the fact that we have this literal picture right here of him being massaged by this woman who was a victim of Epstein's. But no, that's not enough evidence for you guys. You guys want to listen to Daddy Anonymous or something like that. I swear, a lot of people are clowns if they're going to subscribe to that whole Trump involved with Epstein thing, because we all know Trump literally banned Epstein from one of his properties because Epstein was trying to groom children there, groom victims there. That's just not, Trump was not with it. Go ahead.
It's a well-known fact that Trump actually was one of the only people in 2009 to cooperate with a private investigation into Epstein. And on top of that, you look at 2015, he warned the world, actually. This is at CPAC. This is before he's even running for president. He said that Bill Clinton has Hillary. He said, they asked him about Hillary, and he said, Hillary might have a problem because of Bill Clinton, because Bill Clinton has been hanging out at Jeffrey Epstein's island. He called the place a cesspool, and he also dropped Prince Andrew's name. So it's like, if he was involved in this stuff, then why would he be trying to rat everyone out that he knew was going on? And people might say, oh, well, how would he know? Well, come on. They live in the same area. It's just rich people gossip. Okay. I mean, you have to assume that a lot of different people, rich people, just in general, rich celebrities sort of knew that something weird was going on there, but didn't know the specifics. But you really look at the record. I mean, Trump has really been the one that has actually gone after Epstein.
Yeah, he's been the one that's been holding Epstein accountable for his actions since he had learned of them himself. Trump is absolutely a man of the people, a man of defense, a man of justice. Do we really think a man of justice who's literally tweeting out on Twitter, law and order in all caps, do we think that same man of justice who's tweeting out those things, would he be involved in anything as disgusting as that? And by the way, this is going to be a more personal thing. We always say leave personality out of it. But do you think Trump, who's able to pull women that look like Melania, do we really think Trump needs to prey on children or have any attraction to children if he can pull women like Melania Trump? I don't know. I mean, come on. Let's just think about it.
I have said that too. I never really saw Trump being the need to be a rapist, because he always had plenty of that stuff.
Yeah, he talked about
honest.
Yeah, he was talking about the superstar lifestyle way back when we had that whole that tape that came out. It was grab him by the P word, as Ben Shapiro would say. Mm-hmm. So we had that all come out, and it's like, okay, well, they're trying to spin it as a whole non-consensual thing, but it's about the life and joys of stardom. That is what Trump was, especially when he was worth a lot of money. It still is. And then he had Celebrity Apprentice and The Apprentice, all those things, all those shows he was in, which were some of the biggest shows on television. He didn't have to worry about forcing anything on anyone. All he had to do was be himself. Okay, so all these accusations go back to show that liberals don't really care about logic or reasoning when it comes to these things. All that matters to them is the optics. So Bill Clinton, who I guess up until now was sort of left-wing figure, all of a sudden now they want to turn on him so that they can attack Trump. They want to twist this whole narrative together that Trump is the one that's doing all these things, even though Clinton is the one that's pictured, even though Clinton is the one who's been complicit in all these crimes, and Clinton is the one that's under investigation, at least as far as we know.
Clinton's the one that has taken, I believe it's like a dozen trips to Epstein's private island, and that's what the flight logs that's what the flight logs showed when they investigated Epstein.
Yeah, absolutely true. Thank you, everybody showing up in the chat. We have a lot of people getting involved, and I can't wait to see how great it is when the DNC actually starts. Like you can see down here, it'll start at 9 p.m. So we've got 30 minutes to talk about whatever you want. So if you guys have any questions or anything you want to talk about, leave them in the chat. If you're on my channel and you have a question that you urgently want answered, you can send a super chat, and I will be sure to see that because it'll pop up in bright colors. We'll show it on screen. We'll read it out and everything.
But yeah, what did you think of last night? I think we already talked about it at the end of last night.
Yeah,
but I guess we want to
recap.
It's
It's nice to have a night's sleep to kind of look back on it. And looking back on it, it wasn't as bad as I had thought it would be. Yeah, it was just a little bit worse. Okay, so I thought maybe it'll just be boring, but that stream, or I shouldn't say that stream, our stream, their stream actually infuriated me at some points, and it was specifically the points where you have the typical black person they try to bring up and then say, for my sister Kamala Harris. And if you go back to the stream like somebody's doing as we do this one, if you go back and watch that last one, you will see just how absolutely upset I was at every single time. And I don't usually get emotional over politics. I just don't. It's not what I do.
Mhm.
But every single time they said my sister Kamala Harris or my black sister Kamala Harris or something just absolutely stupid and dumb like that, it would send me off the edge because I just have to say it over and over again. She is not the same as you. She is not your sister. She is Indian American. She is Jamaican American. She's not African American. And it's really debatable if she's black or not. And honestly, I think Joe Biden's statement applies to her as well as it can be applied to anybody. He ain't black. She simply is not. Okay, it's not the same thing. She is an Indo-American. If anything, she should be getting all those other stereotypes instead of the my sister Kamala Harris. And the amount of pandering and stereotypes they're using while saying that they disavow and hate stereotypes is just absolutely disgusting. It's 100% hypocrisy to the highest degree. And honestly, I can't be surprised at all.
So yeah, I think you're right about that. It was
Sorry.
very it was I found the messaging at times, I guess they got what they need to get across, but I thought at times it was kind of divisive. Especially, I thought Michelle Obama's speech was.
Oh my gosh!
I found that to be very actually divisive. It was her super fans will say it was extremely uniting and like she's bringing people together. But when you really break down what she was saying, I mean, she was really basically alienating the people who just support Trump, which is like, more or less half the country. She basically alienated half that country as like bad people, and she shamed them, and she virtue signaled about herself and how great of a person she is. And I found that speech to actually be extremely overrated. Now here's the I think the positive sign out of the convention for us, which was that I didn't really find anyone to be blown away. Like, oh my God, that was so amazing. Because I went through Twitter afterward to see what people were saying. And the common consensus was either it was mediocre, or from a lot of conservatives, it was just straight up terrible, but they could just be being partisan. So whatever. But the common consensus I found was it was just mediocre, which is definitely possible for us. Okay. Like we just, that's all Republicans really need. We just need them to have an okay convention that is not really anything. I thought it got really boring, towards the end. The second hour was boring. And I've actually been looking, I guess viewership for this convention has been rather disappointing for, the DNC standards. So hopefully those are good signs for us that it kind of was a flop, and hopefully Republicans can top it in some way, figure that out.
Yeah, for the first time ever, I think in the history of my life, I'm actually excited to see what the Republican National Convention has to offer, because apparently, actually, I learned this from you that they're going to have the two people who defended their home from those rioters and those
the
trespassers, the McCloskeys. They're going to go up on there and say a few words. I'm going to be pretty excited about that. And to get back to the point about Michelle Obama, her speech went on for so long that my brain started to try to like purge it from my memory because it was just taking up so much space. She just would not stop going on and talking in one completely unbroken sentence, just droning on and on. It was impossible to focus on what she was saying, to the point that it just started to become words. Like my brain wasn't even processing them or linking them to meanings. It was just words that were saying something. And I was like, whoa, what is she saying? I felt like I was getting sung a lullaby to sleep. I was yawning, in all honesty. And it's hard for me to get bored at things. I can get fascinated and focused in on anything, but her speech was one of those very few things that was able to elude me. I couldn't focus in. But in all honesty, I do agree that the Democratic National Convention yesterday was mediocre. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was worse, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad from the get-go. So maybe it wasn't the worst thing ever. I'm kind of interested to see what they have today, because we have Bill Clinton, Jill Biden, which is interesting. Who actually wants to hear from Jill? I mean, last time I heard she was getting her finger bitten off, but hey, that's not relevant, I guess. But in all honesty, or last I heard she was getting swapped for her sister-in-law with Joe Biden's sister. You can't decide which one he's in love with and which one he was born with. So hey, I don't know. But I'm kind of interested to see what happens today with Jill Biden. And of course, Bill Clinton. We've spent a while talking about him, honestly too long. I want to see what he has to say, how good or bad the speech is going to be. And you know what? I have an interesting bet. I feel like Bill Clinton's speech is going to be better than Joe Biden's speech will be. And Bill Clinton was in office way before. It's way past his prime. He's retired now. But I still feel like he's going to be better in his speech than Joe Biden ever will be.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see because I feel like not to be mean, but he's kind of like a pedophile likely too. So I guess it's not being mean, but I have sort of seen from Bill Clinton, you sort of see cognitive decline in him too, like from just in recent months, like in like about 2 years ago, just watching him. But he'll still probably be a lot better than Biden because Clinton was actually quite a talented politician back in his day, whereas Biden, oh boy, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see Clinton. I think from what I've seen, it must be that they're trying to go after the moderate base. I think that's what they're doing here because Clinton is sort of looked back nostalgic. This was sort of a thing in 2016 more than now, like before Trump took office. But he's sort of seen nostalgically by a lot of like moderate figures in the party, I guess. And he used to be very popular in the black community. I don't know if he still is after everything that's happened, but I guess that's what they're going for.
Yeah, something like that. Hold on, I'm typing up a tweet here, so just give me a minute. I'm trying to put this stream out to my followers, so I need to find. Yeah, give me just a second.
All right. All right, so it says Biden up 12% nationwide. That's a complete joke. These polls are so wrong. That's comment is from Joy Sanchez. Yeah, so I actually talked to someone who knows this stuff on my show last week, and one of the biggest problems with polls is that they oversample Democrats, number one, but a lot of them they don't actually target. They just go after registered voters, and a lot of times when you're doing polls, you have to target likely voters, right? There's a difference between registered voters and likely voters, and there's a way they figure that out. But regardless, we have definitely seen a huge increase in support of Trump in the polls in recent weeks. And I don't think that this convention going on right now is really going to save Biden from that. I think I think the lowest point of Trump's presidency poll wise was mid-June. And ever since then, it's just been, an upward trend. And I don't see the Democrats really being able to stop that. I think Biden definitely had a lead, I would say mid-June. And whatever it is now, it's just Trump is going to keep catching up, and then we'll just see where we are on election day.
Yeah, you said it very well yesterday that after the Democratic National Convention, a typical Democrat presidential candidate is supposed to see a boost in polling, a boost in support. But I think we both agreed yesterday that that's not what we predict to see from Joe Biden. Now, originally we thought it was going to be a negative, or I thought it was going to be a negative. If you thought it was just going to be neutral, and then at the end of it, I said, "Oh, maybe it'll be neutral," because it turned out very well. But in these next 3 days, especially on that last day, I'm really interested to see how well the Democrats can do at this or how terrible they can screw it up. I'm actually quite excited to hear it because, you expect the least from Democrats, but sometimes they can surprise you. So they did a great job yesterday with the messaging. And even after the stream, we both talked about how the messaging and the work they did on sort of packaging that together, even if in the inside it was nothing but air and a bad taste in your mouth, the packaging and the wrapping was just an amazing spectacle that you just couldn't quite get out of your head. And so I'm really wondering what it's going to look like after we see all of this. I use this word sparingly, but I'm actually just a little bit excited to see what the Democrats have to offer today. What would you say?
No, well, the promos I thought were good for the first hour, but the video editing can only take you so far because you have these long droning speeches in the middle and there's no crowd and it's like in front of a camera. It's like a quiet room. I thought the peak interest would have been the first hour of the first night. I think tonight is going to, and especially also last night, it's the first night and the last night. They always have the best speakers. We're in the middle right now. So this is like the filler part of the convention. And I expect that we're going to be extremely bored and probably just going to have to start messing around throughout the convention because no one's going to care.
Yeah, and to answer your question, the headline speakers for tonight are Bill Clinton and Jill Biden. So prepare your pillows if we can't do our job well enough to keep you guys awake. I don't even know.
Actually, I might, Joe Biden's speech might be better than Joe Biden's speech. Because remember, like for a few weeks ago, they were trying that strategy where they put his wife on the air instead of him, and his wife does more airtime than him because his wife is actually turns out to be a lot better of a speaker than Joe himself, which is hilarious.
Yeah, honestly, like we had Michelle Obama on for yesterday, and like listening to her speak, it was almost like she spoke as well, if not better than Obama, because she didn't have many stutters or anything. But then you, of course, have to take into account that her speech
was pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded. It had all those dramatic zoom-ins and everything. In comparison to that Clyburn guy's speech, that did not go so well for him. He had some issues there at the beginning. But we talk a lot about packaging and everything like that, and we go to Joe Biden, and we're like, well, I wonder how well she's going to speak. I've seen her speak quite a few times, and it always makes me wonder, why are they running Joe instead of Jill?
Yeah, Jill would probably do actually a much better job.
Yeah, like she just seems like she looks like the kind of person that you would expect to be giving the speech. And then you have good old Joe walk out there in his cane and some kid on his arm. And he's like, all right, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. You're like, Joe, you okay?
I think an official prediction. I think Joe Biden's speech is going to be pre-recorded. Like, how could they not? If you're the Democrats, how could you not? If I was his campaign manager, I'd be like, all right, Joe, it might look kind of stupid if you do this, but for God's sakes, we have to do your speech pre-recorded. Like, we cannot risk you just screwing up live on air.
Yeah, we can't risk the world's worst gaffe ever that Joe could possibly deliver. Do you think that Jill Biden's speech will be pre-recorded, though?
That is just sort of a 50-50. I don't know. We'll have to see that. We'll have to see what's up with that.
Considering that we had Michelle Obama's speech pre-recorded, does that change anything, or you still think it's 50-50?
Well, Jill Biden actually, from what I haven't seen that much of her, but what I've seen, she's actually like a decent speaker. Michelle Obama, as I said last night, is extremely overrated, and actually, people act like she should run for president or something. She's actually not talented when it comes to being a politician or making speech. Like, no, like she's actually extremely overrated in that aspect. So I wasn't very surprised that Michelle was pre-recorded because Michelle is not the strongest speaker. But with Jill, I mean, Jill, I've only seen like her do one interview, but that one interview she did, it was not the worst thing I've seen. So we'll have to see.
I'm just getting it set up. We got some fantastic recommendations yesterday to have the speech come straight from the Democrats' YouTube channel so that we can have subtitles on and everything. We don't have to worry about any of the other branding. So I just got that prepared for us. So once it starts, I'll throw it up on screen and it will be fun. We have some people saying, come on, man. Also, I want to make sure you guys all know that we still have the clown emojis in the chat. We still have Cap coming in the chat. So we're going to be using that. But let's just get it started. Throw those clown emojis in the chat, folks. So we know what we're getting ready for. I need to see them. Let's go.
Hold on. Look at Joe's face.
Look at him. Yeah, throw the clowns up for Joe. Oh man. Throw the clowns up for good old Joe. Joe knows what he's doing, honestly. I'm waiting to see the clown emojis. I know it's got a little delay, and then they're just gonna flood in the chat. I'm waiting for it. Somebody asks, will we be streaming the RNC? Vince, what do you think?
We'll see. We'll see. Probably. Yeah. We'll see what it looks like.
Look at that. All those clown emojis. Text Trump to 330. I saw that one. Yes, sir. You guys. Yes, I like Bevelyn Betty. I like her. Do you know Bevelyn Betty?
No. Who's that?
She is a black Trump supporter lady that just went absolutely viral.
AOC is speaking tonight. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I guess AOC will only have a brief time slot. That is hilarious. The party was really like, okay, fine. You want to speak tonight? So this is what they're probably thinking. If we don't let her speak at all, she's going to give us a really hard time, and that's going to divide the party. So instead, let's just put her on the screen for a second and then pull her off. I saw a great headline from the Babylon Bee. Is the stream starting? I saw a great headline from the Babylon Bee.
Okay, it's just music right now, and they're like.
I think it's just promotional stuff.
Yeah, it's just promotion, not the actual thing. Yeah, so from 9 p.m. to 11. Okay.
But I saw a great headline from the Babylon Bee. It says AOC cast as a tree at the convention, and she's just wearing like a tree costume and standing in the background.
It's very honestly like sometimes the Babylon Bee just hits it right on the nail of the head. And I actually said something that I think is really really. I can't think of the word, but I actually said something that I thought was really true. Is that Babylon Bee is the most trusted news source. And you want to know why? Because you can always know that their news will be funny as hell and laughably false. And that's why you can trust them, because with other things you can't know if it's true or not. Usually it's false, but like sometimes you just don't know. But with the Babylon Bee, well, you absolutely know it. So everybody's clowning AOC in the chat. They say she's gonna get 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes is too much for AOC.
They're gonna give her like a short 10 minutes is a long time slot. I think it would have to be like 5 minutes if they're gonna do that. Okay, so John Kerry will also be speaking tonight. Chuck Schumer. Sally Yates. So the criminal will be speaking tonight as well. Yes. And this is a short speaking list. So how are they they're gonna carry this out for 2 hours? Or is Joe Biden gonna speak?
They're probably gonna show a lot of those little TV clips they have forever.
Yeah, most likely.
They're saying 30-second time slot in the chat. I'm dead. Jill is married to a perverted man who will do anything it takes to protect him or risk physical abuse. Wow. They're saying 60 seconds. Billions and billions. Oh, I'm waiting for it. That's why I'm excited.
I am surprised with all of the environmentalism that's now trendy in the Democrat Party. That Al Gore is like nowhere to be found. It's funny because the reason I bring this up is because I saw a South Park episode the other night. Have you ever seen a South Park episode about Al Gore and Man Bear Pig? You know, don't worry, it's not really Man Bear Pig. It's me, Al Gore. Where it's like Al Gore is like, even though climate change is now at the forefront of the Democratic Party, I think it's hilarious that Al Gore still struggles to receive any attention whatsoever.
Yeah. I actually haven't even watched that many episodes of South Park, but I do distinctly remember Al Gore having a big part in South Park and being like a whole plot line. It was hilarious. I do remember that.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Go
it's
ahead.
not really Man Bear Pig. It's me, Al Gore. I will always remember that line.
Oh, wait, hold on. I had a question. I just forgot it. Somebody said something, and shout out to Active Observer. He says Crump and Dow is the only way to watch the DNC without vomiting. That is for sure. So if you want to make sure some other people don't vomit, you want to save somebody from having a very bad night, then make sure you send them this live stream so they can get informed by the Democrat Party and be entertained by Chandler and Vince. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you leave a like button if you're here. Make sure you share it on all your social media, all that great stuff, so that we can have an amazing night together.
Googer, according to Googer in the chat, he's saying that they only gave AOC 60 seconds tonight.
It's
60 seconds.
Vince, it's pronounced Gogurt. Did you not have a childhood?
Well, it's spelled incorrectly. It's Googer. Okay.
No, it's not. It's not Gogurt. Okay.
Yes.
So what? He added an extra O.
He added an extra
Gogurt.
O. He added an extra O.
It's Gogurt.
So it's Googer. It's
no.
It's Googer. Okay, you can either Googer or it's Gogurt. Okay.
Okay.
But
all right. Let's let the chat decide. 1 if it's Gogurt, or 2 if it's Googurt. Okay.
It's Googer.
I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see ones. You have more people in the chat, so they're gonna spam the 2s, but I know it's gonna be the 1s. Everybody, post those ones in the chat. Come on. It's Gogurt.
It's Googer.
Oh my god, the first ones. I'm seeing a lot of 1s. Hey,
I'm seeing 2s right here.
I'm seeing 1s. Yeah. They're saying go. Come on, Vince. You know you've lost. Look at that. Wait, hold on. I think even Gogurt came out to say that his name is Gogurt.
He put Googer. Where is that? I just saw his comment.
Oh man, that Johnster Ray boy, he says Gogurt. You see? Yeah, Lexi Uwu says Gogurt. You switched it. Come on, man. The good old Joe Biden. Even the guy says Gogurt. Yeah. Gogurt. Come on, guys.
It's Googer. You are now Googer. I now declare Vince Dow now declares you Googer.
No.
He now declares you to be Googer.
No, Chandler Crump says it's Gogurt. And Chandler Crump's word means something.
They identify as Googer. Yeah, Googer sounds funnier. Exactly. It's Googer.
It sounds funnier, but it's incorrect.
Googer. It's Googer. I'm telling you. It's
said, come on, man. Oh, man.
Who remembers the Hillary Clinton statue?
Yeah, I was just reading that.
That was supposed to be Hillary Clinton? I never even knew that. I didn't know it was supposed to be Hillary Clinton.
Hey.
I know what you're talking about, though. I used to always fly there with the Annihilator and then like have like a survival mission over at the island. But I never even knew that was supposed to be Hillary Clinton. That is insane.
Oh my god, the people in the chat are just being absolutely no, hide that. No, nothing to see there. Somebody says I'm waiting for Billie Eilish. I'm honestly waiting for that too. I want to see what kind of Democrat spiel they paid her to say. Honestly, like what if she just shows up there and like I got all the votes I wanted for Joe Biden or something like that. I'm waiting to see that. Oh, see, we've got somebody in the chat saying all the ones. Remember not to spam the chat, folks, or you will get muted. Sorry, it's just the way it has to be. So don't be like that. But yeah.
Oh God, so I have reason to like dislike Billie Eilish even more now.
Yeah, you have a free ticket because she's performing at the DNC, just like Jay-Z and Beyonce in 2016. I'm not excited for that.
Colin Powell will appear at the Democratic convention. Oh God,
why?
So
why?
Hold on, I'm reading this right now.
Yeah.
How is Colin Powell going to endorse the Democrats, the freaking ridiculously far left policy? Dude, this man's isn't he an investor? Like that's what he became big off of doing, which was investing in this freaking stock market. And now he's gonna regret it. He's gonna severely regret it, man.
He's investing in his own lined pockets. He's gonna get them pockets lined for that 7-minute speech he'll give, if even that. We have 9 minutes until the Democratic National, or actually 8.5 minutes until the Democratic national convention begins, in which the next era and the next partition of the clown show will begin. We're going to have billions and billions of fun. We're going to have some hairy legs to show off, and it's going to be an amazing night. If you're just tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. If you aren't already subscribed, make sure you share this all over. And if you aren't already, make sure you follow us on all of our social media.
Actually, for those of you who are tuning in, I'm going to explain the game tonight. So every time Trump is mentioned, we will play this clip.
Billions.
And every time Joe Biden is mentioned, we will play this clip.
I got hairy legs.
Oh, that's going to be so fun. I remember every single time yesterday, I'd hear billions, and I just cracked the widest smile because I'd be like, it's just so sudden. You know, you like, they say Trump, and sometimes I'd have to remind you,
Billions.
I'd be sitting there, and then it's just billions. It is hilarious. Hold on, somebody says something. Rhinos do what rhinos do. Oh, that was absolutely terrible yesterday, right? With all the Republicans coming out there. We have somebody on screen. Wait, hold on.
Kasich really stood at a. Who's speaking? Who's this?
Let me turn it on.
Co-chairs of the Credentials Committee to present their committee's report.
Hello, delegates to the 2020 Democratic National Convention.
We don't even know what's going on.
My name is
I don't know
Jim
what this is.
Roosevelt, and it is an honor to have served as a co-chair of the Credentials Committee, along with my good friend, Lorraine Miller. Pursuant to the
Oh, we should have a
convention
clip for
rules, the
Kamala
Credentials
tomorrow,
Committee
or we can
met
set one
and
up
took
now.
action to approve the
What do you wanna do, her
credentials of
laughing?
delegates and alternates
Maybe,
that have been
or
credentialed
maybe
for the
her clip
2020
of calling Joe
Democratic
Biden a
National
racist or
Convention.
something.
I am proud to say that all
Yeah, somebody said, "Who is this?"
issues
We don't
were
know.
resolved in accordance with the actions of the Credentials Committee.
The actual average Democrat.
This year's nominating process reflects the efforts of
Actually,
so
I
many
think
to
this
make our
is just
process more open and
convention
more
procedure
transparent.
that they're doing right now.
As a result, we know
Democrats adhere to procedure. Surprising.
Yeah, it's convention procedure, just boring stuff, you know.
Somebody said just convention. Yeah, let's get a Kamala thing up. Somebody tell us in the chat what we should have her say.
You gotta no. You should do. Have you seen the video
Oh.
of Ben Shapiro making fun of her laugh?
No,
That's
I
the
have
best thing.
not. I don't watch him that often.
That is no, but that's perfect.
Somebody said use the clip of her saying 18 to 24-year-olds are stupid.
That's too long though, so you got to do something short. That's why I was thinking of doing her.
Oh, yeah.
her incredibly bad fake laugh. That's what you got to do.
Do we have that? It was a ha.
We could find. Why don't you find it or somewhere? I don't know.
Oh wow, you're gonna make me do it.
Or we could do it. Yes. See, they want the Shapiro laugh. See.
Entertain them while I do this. I don't even know where to find
Okay.
it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing tonight? All right, we have. Let me tell you a little story, okay? And I haven't thought of the story. I'm literally
There's no
just
sound on it.
There's no sound.
No, there's no sound on the video I found because if I find one, I'm gonna have to crop it down myself, and I just need to find the right one.
Oh yeah, the laugh from the Colbert interview. Her fake. Let me tell you, Kamala Harris has
nope,
like
it's Kamala, not Kamala.
it's
Say it incorrectly.
no. I
Yes,
refuse.
say
No.
it incorrectly.
I'm not, dude.
Oh.
That's
why there's no sound. Oh, you're trying not
Camel
to get
Harris.
sued. Camel. I love that one.
You know, if you say her name wrong, you are an evil, bigot, racist, sexist. Okay. By the way, did you know Kamala is also the wrong way to say it? I have a friend who lives in India, and actually, I plan to bring him on my show at some point to explain how it's said. But it's actually pronounced like not even pronounced like that. Like that's also the wrong way to say it. And so to get on like Tucker Carlson and all these people for saying her name wrong, while also saying their name, like the way Kamala wants you to say her name is actually the wrong way to say it. And I actually I'm gonna find his DM right now, and I'm gonna play how her name is supposed to be said. If my phone is just stuck. Okay.
I am having no luck on finding this. In all honesty, I'm only finding videos of Ben Shapiro laughing, but I can't find like an actual Kamala laugh.
Well, you can do Ben Shapiro laughing. It works.
But it's not her.
Yeah, but no people know what it is.
I guess if they know now. Hold on, let me
Here. Can you hear that?
And although
Turn
she
it up.
doesn't really embrace it,
That's the highest
she
goes.
is half Indian, and her name is
Can you
actually
hear it?
also Indian. Now, most people in the U.S. pronounce it as either Kamala or Kamala Harris, and when Tucker Carlson pronounced it as Kamala Harris, people went batshit crazy and got pissed and corrected them and said it's Kamala Harris. But actually, it's neither. it's actually pronounced Kamala Harris. Now, of course, I don't expect people to get that right, but if you're gonna get outraged about somebody pronouncing a name wrong, and then technically still pronounce it wrong yourself,
Oh,
what can I say? It's a very Democrat thing to do.
ooh. I
Now,
like that
now,
guy's voice. That's a weird thing to say, but I like the way his voice sounds.
well, his weird British accent, because
Yes.
he grew up in like a lot of different places in Europe and stuff. So
I
he
just
has a weird-
realized I can control the video clips. So
Billion.
There you go.
And then, all right, and then last but not least,
I got hairy legs.
let's go. I love that so much.
Okay, yeah. So I will not even try to attempt to say her name the correct way, because it will just sound like me trying to imitate an Indian accent, which I don't know. Chandler, you want to take a crack at it? You want to take a crack
Oh.
at it?
What's the way to pronounce it again? Kamala.
Kamala, something like that. Yeah,
Kamala?
I guess. I'm not even gonna try it. I'm not
Kamala?
even gonna try it.
I think that's right. Kamala.
Yeah, I think
like-
you just said it right.
Kamala. I'm gonna give you the Trump thumbs up. Kamala. I don't know. I just say Kamala because that's the way I've said it since I first saw it.
Yeah,
at
no,
the
but
debate.
it's so funny because everyone called her Kamala throughout all of primary season. Okay, without exception, everyone said Kamala Harris, and now all of a sudden, she's Joe Biden's vice presidential pick, and now all of a sudden
Now
it's
it matters.
now you're a sexist
Yeah.
and a racist if you don't
it's
say
so-
your name correctly.
Yeah, it's so funny because during the debates, you had all these male candidates that were, piling on and attacking her. But now all of a sudden she's the vice presidential candidate, she's not tough enough to take it, and we have to lay off. We can't attack her because she's a woman, because she's too weak. This is literally what the Democrats are saying. Like on the stream last night, I said this, and it's 100% true. And what I said is that they are shielding her because they don't believe she's strong enough to take anything. And you know what kind of dangerous message that sends? It sends the message that women aren't strong enough to take any criticism. And whether that's true or not is outside of any other matter about this. What matters is that they are flipping this whole narrative. And so they're saying women are strong, women are powerful, women are fierce, but yet they turn around and say that women cannot take it. It's dumb. The Democratic National Convention will start in a matter of seconds. In fact, I believe it might have already started. So we're
Joe
gonna,
Lance Bottoms
I think,
engaged so many throughout our
Yeah.
party to
Oh, boy.
ensure that feedback was incorporated.
we have the subtitles
whether
as
it
well,
was
so you guys can read
received
along.
online
But we're gonna
or
be
through
having fun
Ally.
with this. So
The subtitles are
with us.
greatly
Thanks,
lagging
Julie.
behind.
I'm Dennis
Yeah,
McDonough.
they
and I'm
usually
proud
are.
to have been Julie's co-chair
They should be starting
on
in a
the
little bit.
platform committee.
So they're still doing a little bit of the
Our committee
proceedings,
has
but we'll just
produced
have it
a
in there.
platform
Shout out to everybody
that
showing up
proposes
in the chat.
solutions
They
to
say,
the
"Who is
challenges
this?"
that American families face
Shout
in
out to
this
Jasmine
unprecedented
Wolf.
time. It's informed by the values of our party and the priorities of our presidential nominee.
Y'all, if we knew who he
Vice
was, we'd
President
tell
Joe
you.
Biden.
He looks kind of weird though.
I strongly believe that this platform
He looks like
lays out an
kind of looks kind of like Anderson
agenda informed
Cooper.
by the
He
values
does. He looks like
that
a
will
dollar
defeat
store
Donald
Anderson
Trump
Cooper that was 50%
and
off.
heal the
Oh,
soul of
wait.
our nation. The United States of
Billions.
America.
Oh, he said,
Thank you,
Good
Julie
job.
Yeah.
and Dennis. Thank you to all the
I need to
members of
stay on
all
this
three
screen if I'm gonna do
standing
this.
committees for your important
we have a
work
lot to keep
to
track
ensure
of.
we have a smooth and orderly convention, a platform that represents our party's values and interests, and a
Oh my
plan for
God.
continuing to look at how we conduct our affairs in the best spirit of openness, fairness, and inclusion.
Why are those American flags still intact? That's my question.
What's going on?
Somebody
now?
said we're going to hear billions all night. It should be starting unless we suddenly get technical difficulties again like we did last night. Somebody said Sith Lord. That last guy, he did kind of look like a Sith Lord of some sort. Yeah, they're not on fire. That's my question. Well, where'd that comic go? It just disappeared. Yeah, why aren't the flags on fire? Where's the Black Lives Matter flag? And we better hear that Black National Anthem tonight, or else.
I heard Cenk Uygur was not very impressed by the debate. You know him, right? He's still voting for Biden, but he's sort of the voice of the progressives, and he was not happy with he's not. The main thing he's not happy with the convention is actually sort of just the fact that the moderates are actually being given the platform. And here we
remember
go.
that-
We're beginning
You
tonight.
remember that time he got endorsed by Bernie Sanders and then Bernie Sanders took it back?
Yeah, took it back because of his denial of the Armenian genocide and the weird stuff he said about incest with animals.
Oh, wow, that is loud. How is that volume for you?
It's pretty loud.
Yeah, let me cut it down a bit. Also, you know, since it's music, I'll just mute it for a second because we don't know what's gonna get us. Honestly, we're trying to be careful.
To the flag of the United States
Yeah,
of
okay.
America.
and
Oh,
to
here
the
we go.
republic for which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
One nation.
One nation under
What happened?
Crap, it's doing this.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for
It's
all.
being annoying again. There you go. That should fix it. There you go. Oh, great. More music? Well, let me just mute it on y'all side. I can still hear it, though. Who is that? Oh, it's a senator. Okay. Subtitles are kind of in the way now that I think about it. Why aren't they kneeling?
So, what's going on right now? You're hearing the audio, right?
Yeah. Oh, the subtitles are correct. They're just a little bit struggled. That's that guy saying something. He's just giving a speech to some people. It might be a previous Democratic National Convention. Now that I think about it.
It probably
Yeah, that's
is.
what I
Okay,
think. That's what it's showing.
1976.
Barbara Jordan.
They show this. They showed this video like 3 different times. The promotion. Actually, wait. Oh, this is the video that Alyssa Milano put on her Twitter. I was actually going to share it last night, but I forgot.
You follow Alyssa Milano on Twitter?
Yes.
Pause.
Okay. I have
Pull up.
the.
This guy looks a little bit like Julian Castro. That's the only thing I noticed. 1988. Where's Joe?
So are they skipping their losing conventions? No, I guess they're not because they lost in 1988. So
Yeah, they did. They're showing this one. Oh yeah, if you guys are just sorry, I'm a little quiet because I'm still hearing it. But if you guys are just tuning in, make sure to leave a like on the video and make sure you share it as well. We're having a lot of fun tonight. They're showing all their things here. Oh, there's our boy Obama. He was giving speeches in the year I was born. That's crazy. I sometimes forget how young I really am. Look at that.
yeah, 2003 gang, you freaking senior citizen compared to.
It's 1 year, not even a year. It's like a matter of months. Oh, 2012. Look at that. Oh, there's Julian Castro. I was gonna say, look at the video quality bump, but it kind of looks trashy still. And then they're gonna show 2016 probably. Let me unmute it on my end. Yeah, it's just still music and Julian Castro, the failed presidential candidate, speaking, and then Obama again. Is this still 2012, or is it? This looks like 2008 again.
This is 2008 again.
Yeah, why'd they switch? 2020, a different kind of keynote. All right,
good night, the Democratic National Convention.
you guys can hear it again.
This
Look at the camera and smack.
okay.
And
This
this
Zoom
is
crap.
a
This Zoom
different
crap
kind
is
of
so
keynote.
annoying. I
This
can't
year-
stand when people do this. Cringe. The Zoom crap is cringe. Get off of Zoom.
There's a lot riding.
They have the president of the Navajo
We're facing
Nation.
the biggest economic and health
funny.
crisis in generations because our president didn't and still doesn't have a plan. When doctors, nurses, home health
I think we hit it
care
at the
in
same time.
Philadelphia have to risk their own lives to protect others because there's not enough protective equipment.
When factory workers in Ohio
It's
are
so good.
faced with dangerous conditions because this administration hasn't given clear guidance on how to protect our people.
When teachers in Gwinnett County, Georgia,
Hey.
and across the country are being asked to return to the
Why are they
classroom
naming counties in
without
my
a plan to
state?
keep them safe, and parents are exhausted juggling full-time work and full-time childcare.
And visiting
Really?
our parents.
You can
and
pretend to care.
grandparents
Oh
through
yeah.
the
So,
window
so,
of
so
a
let's
nursing
keep our
home,
killed children at
learn
home
all
because
the
that's gonna
time
make
that
it so
they'll be
much easier
sick.
for parents.
when unemployment
Stupid
in
logic.
North South
Yeah.
Carolina,
How can they even
a
talk about
city I
childcare when they're still trying
represent,
to
has
make
risen
kids stay home
nearly
while the
fourfold.
parents can't even go to work because of it?
Evictions are putting families out on the street in the
So
middle
let people
of a
work.
pandemic.
Make no mistake.
Homelessness has been an issue
didn't
far
have
longer
to
than the
be this
pandemic has
bad.
been around. It's only
In the
become
early
worse
days
because
of the
Democrats
virus,
like you have been
Donald
kicking
Trump
people out of their
didn't listen to
jobs.
the experts. And then he said something that a president should never say.
He said, I don't take responsibility at all.
No responsibility.
He didn't cause the virus.
He still doesn't have a plan.
Donald
Is that the
Trump
guy
doesn't
from the Allstate
understand.
commercials?
We can't fix our economy until we get a hold of the virus.
While working families are struggling, he's looking out for the people who are already doing just fine. The wealthy, the big corporations,
Cap.
the donors to his campaign.
He's looking out for himself.
But there's one person looking out for us,
All of us.
and that's Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs.
We're in a battle for the soul
It's gonna
of
be
our
so
nation.
good.
But Joe knows we can never let hard times turn us against each
I
other.
got hairy
We never
legs.
stop doing the hard work to make things right.
That's why we ran for office.
What?
Even when people counted us out.
even when there had never been a Latina in the Nevada State Senate.
Or a Democrat elected as Florida Commissioner of Agriculture in nearly 3 decades.
Or an
We haven't had a Democrat or a Republican leader in some cities in California for like a century.
In 120 years.
We ran for office because we know the struggles American families are facing.
New Hampshire.
No, you
State.
don't.
Because we've
No, you
lived
don't.
them.
We
Cap.
lived the
No, you
insecurity and the
No,
indignity
you haven't. No, you
of an
haven't.
eviction notice. I, like
Insecurity.
many of you, have lived the frustration of paying off student loans. We have lived the grief of losing loved ones to gun violence and the criminal justice system
Gun
that unfairly
violence.
targets our communities.
Gun violence.
We have lived that feeling of helplessness.
Criminal justice
Someone
system.
you
Do they know
love
who
is
their
wasted, and
nominee
access
is?
to healthcare is a matter of life and death.
By the way, Joe Biden has lived a lot of this too.
He was raised in
I
a
got hairy
middle-class family.
legs.
Press at the same time, and it,
Yeah, we did.
Delaware.
He watched his dad.
I don't want to see baby Biden.
learned that a job is about so
Come on, man.
more than a paycheck. It's about
yeah, his job as a
dignity
lifeguard.
and
Of course,
respect.
we can't. How can we forget that?
Where's the chain
was
and the
sworn
gel
to
in his hair?
office.
Wait, he
You
has
may
the gel in his
cut me.
hair.
Too young.
You may
to
cut me,
He has the
man,
gel
but
in
I'm
his
gonna wrap
hair.
this
Car
chain around
crash.
your head.
Killed his wife and infant daughter.
He knows what it's like to thank God you have health care.
I got hairy legs.
To work hard for everything you've got. He knows what it's like to send a child off to war.
I got hairy legs.
Forget who he's fighting
too much.
for.
I look around my district in
I
North
think
Texas.
he already forgot who he's
I
fighting
see the
for.
people who
He's
built
barely
this
fighting for
country.
himself because he forgot
The
himself too.
educators, like the single mom who raised me, the men and women on the front
Oh, we
lines
can
of
tell.
our healthcare system. You built this country.
Small business owners, like the ones whose shops and restaurants
Yeah,
line
they
the
are.
streets of
Sorry,
Birmingham,
chat.
Michigan.
The subtitles are a little behind.
Of tribal nations.
Line the streets of Philadelphia and bring our communities to life. You built this country.
The nurses in Memphis. who
He got a
came out of
business?
retirement
He
to
didn't
treat
build that?
patients during this pandemic.
How
You
make that make sense
built
for me?
this
Obama
country.
said you
And you
didn't
know
build
what?
that if you have a
You
business. And
deserve
that's the
more
backbone
than
of this
the constant
nation. But
chaos
okay,
that
whatever.
Donald Trump delivers.
You deserve
Billions.
healthcare you can afford, a job that pays you fairly. You deserve childcare and paid sick leave while you work. And when you pay into Social Security and Medicare, you deserve to know it will be there when you retire.
And
that's
that's
why
why
we
we
ran.
ran.
And thanks to the
Sounds
voters
like we need
across
to
the
raise the
country,
retirement
in
age
both
then.
red states and blue states,
We
won.
won. A new generation of leaders is rising up.
And with Joe Biden in the White House,
I got
there's no
hairy
limit to what we
legs.
can do.
beat me to it.
In Nevada,
Well, Joe
we're
is on the.
making
Or Joe is on the.
I got hairy legs.
So
Oh.
people with chronic illnesses won't go broke while drug companies get rich.
You know, Trump's trying to
Joe's working to
negotiate the
protect and
prices of
expand the
medication
Affordable
down while
Care
Obama
Act.
did jack while
He'll
he
make
was in
sure millions
office.
of people
But okay.
keep their coverage, and no one can be denied for a pre-existing condition. He'll bring down the cost
They
of
forget to mention
healthcare
that Joe had
and
like 4
prescription
decades to
drugs,
fix
too,
all these issues.
giving tax credits to working families and allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices.
That's a
That
big
is so
effing deal.
disingenuous.
That's
Yeah,
a
why is
big
that guy
effing
holding up a
deal.
camera when he has like 3 different
Because
camera
Joe
angles
knows
on him?
it's
Just
gonna
to watch him
help
holding the phone up.
economy if people can't afford health care.
But let's remember, Donald Trump is suing to take health care coverage away from more than 20 million Americans
Cap.
and eliminate protections for over 100 million with pre-existing conditions.
Double cap.
In the middle of a pandemic.
In Texas, we're standing up for fierce women like my mom and my tias who raised me to never back down from a tough fight. So we're fighting to
So
make
much
sure
pandering.
that
I can tell they're
mothers
holding the cue
have
cards off to the
access
side.
health screenings for safe pregnancies and childbirth. And we're bringing
What part of
long
safe
overdue
pregnancies does getting
justice
torn apart
to
in the womb
survivors of
recommend?
sexual
What
assault.
does that connect
Joe
to?
Biden has been fighting for
Sexual
women his
assault?
entire
Bill
career.
Clinton, Jeffrey
As senator,
Epstein,
he
Hillary
authored the
Clinton,
Violence
all those
Against
other
Women Act.
people.
And as president,
But nope.
he'll restore funding for Planned Parenthood.
Whatever.
He will
And Michelle
codify
Obama's
Roe
great
v.
friend,
Wade
Harvey
and
Weinstein.
make reducing maternal mortality, especially for women of color, a top priority.
In
If you
Florida,
cared about women of
on the
color, you
front
wouldn't be
lines
placing
of
them
our
in where they
climate
live
crisis,
so that their babies could
we're
get
working
torn
to
apart.
produce more renewable energy and shrink our carbon footprint.
Make that make sense.
Joe has a major plan. I got invest hairy in legs. Clean energy jobs
Good
and
catch.
infrastructure.
In the House of Representatives, we're closing loopholes. to
Yeah, who are
ensure
these
local
people?
infrastructure
Good question.
projects use American-made materials and local labor, and
You don't care
support
about American made.
manufacturing.
As long as it's
This
American
a
made
lot of
tax
this has,
dollars.
a lot of this
Joe
has been
Biden will
plagiarism
actually
of
enforce by American
Trump's
rules.
presidency, and then they put it on as
Investing in
like that's what we're gonna do.
American-made Clean energy, building materials,
I got hairy legs.
R&D.
I was just about to
all
get that one.
creating More good jobs.
In Michigan,
We
we're
have yet
banning
to do a
business
Kamala
practices that
though.
exploited workers and cost them hundreds of millions of dollars in lost wages.
When unemployment is the highest rate since the Great Depression, when millions of people have seen their hours.
Shout
and
out to
pay
everybody in the
slashed.
chat. Thank you so much for showing
Joe
up.
knows it's
I
not
got hairy
enough
legs.
to rebuild the economy the way it was before.
We
got
gotta
to
build
it
back better. How did I
He'll
know?
build an economy that rewards work, not wealth, and get rid of the Trump tax cuts that only benefit big corporations
Cap.
and the rich. And then he'll invest
That's
in
a fact.
health
All right,
care,
ladies and gentlemen, you just heard it from them.
education, and
They
infrastructure.
are running off of the
And in
platform of getting
small
rid of tax
businesses
cuts.
up
You
and
heard
running
it.
again.
You just heard it. You heard it from them.
Take it from me.
I got
You're in
hairy
the trenches.
legs.
You want Joe Biden
Honestly.
right there next.
I got hairy
When I wanted
legs.
to marry the man I loved, Joe Biden
Oh,
was the first
yep.
national figure
Single mother.
to support me
Got
and
it.
my family.
Yep. Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
This is what happens.
When the auto industry was going under, Joe stuck his neck out to protect it and helped
Dang it.
save
I got hairy
1.5
legs.
million auto jobs.
Okay,
When
hold
our
on.
economy was
Earlier
on
in this video, they just talked
Joe led
about
the
bailing
recovery
out
effort,
corporations,
created
and now they're
millions of
defending
jobs,
Joe's bailout of the
including
auto
here in Western
corporations.
Pennsylvania.
It doesn't
Under
make
his leadership,
sense.
America bounced back.
This is so
with the longest
disingenuous.
economic
I got
expansion.
hairy legs.
You know, the one Trump brags about creating.
That's what happens when Joe Biden is in your corner.
I
Making
got
families
hairy
get a fair
legs.
shot.
It's back
He
and forth.
understands that leadership means fighting for the people who built this country.
Oh my god.
All of you.
All of us.
This nation
Oh,
belongs
Oh,
to
here she
all of
comes.
us.
you will never be the
In
governor of
every
my
election,
state. Get off my
we
screen.
choose how we will create a more
No,
perfect
she's the
union.
vice presidential pick.
Not
Do you
by
know that?
picking
She's
sides,
the imaginary
but by
vice presidential
taking
pick.
stock of where we are and what we need. This year's
November
choice
4th,
could not
2020,
be
she will
more
declare that
clear.
she won the election.
America
telling you right now.
faces a triple threat. A
Stacey
public
Abrams
health
has won the election.
catastrophe,
That's what they're
an
going to say.
economic collapse, and a reckoning with racial justice and inequality.
Ugh. Just
So
looking at
our
her, she's
choice
so
is clear.
fake. Not an
A
inch of her
steady,
is real.
experienced public servant
Very
who
true.
can lead us out of this crisis just like he's done before.
Stacey Abrams is
Or
nothing
a
but an
man who
elitist
only
pig, and she
knows
looks
how
like
to
one too.
deny and distract. A leader who cares about our families, or a president who only
goodness.
cares about himself.
Her chances of achieving
We
anything
know
are,
Joe
in this
Biden.
nation are as wide as the gap in her teeth.
America, we need Joe Biden. To make your voice heard, text VOTE to 30330.
I got hairy legs.
In a democracy, we do not elect saviors.
Mm.
We cast our ballots for those who see
Yeah,
our
you're not
struggles
electing in
and
Savior and
pledge
Joe.
to
You got to
serve,
settle for them.
who hear our dreams and work to make them real,
Mm-mm-mm.
who defend our way of life by protecting our right to vote. Faced with a president of cowardice, Joe Biden is a man of proven
I got
courage.
hairy legs.
He will restore our moral compass by confronting our challenges, not by hiding from them or undermining our elections to keep his job. In a time of voter suppression at home and authoritarians abroad, Joe Biden will be a champion for free and
I
fair
got hairy
elections,
legs.
for a public health system that keeps us safe, for an economy that we build back better.
I don't
than
hate
before,
Stacey Abrams. I'll tell
and
you
for
that.
accountability and integrity in our system of justice. We
Oh,
stand
jeez.
with Joe Biden.
That song scared
Because
me.
this isn't just about defeating Donald Trump.
Also,
I got
We are
hairy
in
legs.
this to win for America. So let's get it done.
jeez. Make your voice heard. Oh, let's get it. Who's the host now? Is it
Hello.
different? Oh, it's the same lady. Okay.
I'm Tracy Ellis Ross, and
Oh,
how
yeah,
exciting
she's from
to hear
Blackish.
from young elected leaders from across
And there
the
she is, right on the Democratic
a
National
perfect way to
Convention.
begin night 2 of the Democratic National Convention, uniting.
It's so
America.
hard to watch TV with black people in
Tonight
it because
is
every time you
all
watch it,
about
there's nothing
leadership.
but Democrat
This
pandering in it.
unprecedented
And it's just
moment
terrible.
calls
You know,
for
they always
leadership.
talk about representation, but I'm not
inclusive
truly
leadership,
represented on TV.
driven by people who understand that
Very
our
true.
democracy is based on the value of each and every one of us being treated with dignity and respect. Leaders who respond to the needs of hardworking Americans who, right this minute, are unable to pay rent, put food on the table, and keep their loved ones safe.
Because they can't go to work.
As a Black woman, I find
you go.
myself at a crucial intersection.
It's all that matters
in
to her, to the
American
Democrat
politics.
Party.
For far too long, Black female leadership in this country has been utilized.
If she was white, she wouldn't be on the
without being
screen.
acknowledged or valued.
And it
But
continues
we
with
are
the Democrat
turning the
Party.
tide. Hello,
No?
Kamala. Her nomination is historic for anyone who believes
She's not your
in we the
sister.
people.
Okay.
Like Senator Harris and many we saw in the keynote, today's leaders emerge from communities that have long been underrepresented. They're charting
That
new
one's the
paths in
worst.
the spirit of Shirley Chisholm, Charlotta Bass, Fannie Lou Hamer, and John Lewis. They get in good trouble, necessary trouble. They call things out otherwise ignored, elevating our nation and changing the course of our lives for the better. With every vote we cast for forward-thinking, honest leaders, we chip away at ingrained systems of inequity, and we bend the arc of justice. True leaders make sure that policy
now she's
is
walking toward the other
informed by
camera.
all
Yeah,
of us,
camera change.
bridging our burdened past to a safe, equitable, and even joyful future. Joe Biden and Kamala
I got
Harris
hairy
are
legs.
that bridge, heeding voices from within the movement for racial justice, listening to the people, and
Joe looks
acting
so
with
awkward in
empathy
that.
He does.
and compassion to reflect
He looks like he's
our
faking the
shared
smile.
humanity.
He's like, who's this
Tonight, we'll
again?
hear from a number of American leaders.
That's the
including
look on his
former
face. That's the look on his
acting
face. Look at him.
US Attorney General Sally Yates,
He's
Look at
taking
him.
a picture with a
refused to
fan.
defend an
That is the look on his face.
unconstitutional travel ban and paid for it with her job.
Yeah, that's what happens when you screw up.
The threat to this nation, to our democracy, is real.
I got hairy
It's
legs.
clear and it's present. We've watched the president now for 3 years.
Billions.
Look at what he's doing.
That one's my favorite.
I mean, not joking. Instilling fear, sowing division, stroking racial division.
I'm scared of this music in the
Undercutting every
background.
institution that was designed to check the abuse of power by the president or anyone else.
We'll roll with it.
All this for what reason? All
Billions.
this in order to solidify his base and expand his power.
What kind of foolishness is this? Did the audio just go up for you?
Billions. Yeah. Oh, here
no,
we
it's
go.
just awkward silence. Got
Good
it.
evening.
Who are you?
I'm Sally Yates.
Oh,
Speaking at
you're
a
Sally
political
Yates?
convention is something I never expected to be doing. But the future of our democracy is at stake.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
here in my
Yeah.
hometown of Atlanta.
Okay.
As a young lawyer, I joined
Okay,
our nation's
Sally.
Justice Department.
Get out of here.
For nearly 30 years, through Democratic and Republican administrations, I worked alongside my DOJ colleagues to advance our nation's promise.
This is just
of
ironic.
equal
This is just
justice.
extremely ironic.
I served as Deputy Attorney
I
General.
mean, you have one of
in
the
Obama
chief
Biden
figures behind the Russia
and stayed on as
investigation,
Acting Attorney General for the Trump
and
transition.
he's going to be talking all about
Then,
the
10 days in, I was fired for
Justice wherever the
refusing
phrase.
to defend President Trump's shameful and unlawful Muslim travel ban.
Wow. So we
That was
banned
the
Muslims
start
from
of his
travel? That's
relentless
cap.
attacks on our democratic institutions and
I forgot.
countless dedicated
Oh, good job.
public servants.
You know, that,
Like
that was one of
me,
the first
these
lies that really went
officials
to show
didn't
you
swear an
how
oath
hard the
to a
Democrats were going to
person
try for the next
or
4
a
years after
party.
Trump was elected.
Public
He didn't
servants
ban
promised to
Muslims from
defend our
traveling. And if you believe that, you have some
uphold our
learning to do
laws,
because that is not what
and
happened
work on
whatsoever.
behalf
He
of
banned
the
travel
American
from specific countries that just so happened to have
But
a
from
lot
the
of Muslims in
moment
them.
President
But for the
Trump
most
took
part,
office,
the main reason
he's
was that
used
they
his
had terrorism
position to
there.
benefit
We had to take
himself
care of that issue before we could
rather than
allow
our
travel
country.
from those nations.
He's
Well, it wasn't just
trampled
that.
the
It was
rule of
also
law,
Venezuela
trying
and
to
freaking
weaponize our Justice Department to attack his enemies and protect his friends.
Ironic.
Rather than standing up to Vladimir Putin, he fawns
Justice
over a
Department to
dictator
attack his
who is
enemies.
still
Wow.
trying to interfere in our elections.
Where ever heard
He's
that before?
even
I got
trying to
hairy legs.
sabotage our
That
postal
guy.
service to keep people from being able to vote.
Also cap.
His constant attacks on the FBI, the free press,
Voting by mail,
inspectors
if it's not an
general,
absentee
federal
ballot,
judges,
just simply won't work.
they all have
No
one
matter who you vote for,
purpose:
it'll find a way to become a
to
Democrat vote,
remove any check
even
on
if
his
you aren't
abuse of
alive.
power. Put simply, he treats our country like it's his family business.
Billions.
This time,
If he
based
treated
on
our country like his
nation's
family business,
moral
we're doing
authority
damn well.
at home and abroad. But our country doesn't belong to him. It belongs to all of us. Joe Biden embraces that.
I got
He has
hairy
spent
legs.
his entire life putting our country first. He has never backed down from a challenge.
It's been here for 40
or
years
a
and we
vote.
haven't gotten much
He
better.
summons the best in
But
us
okay.
and lives by the values that define us as Americans: service, integrity, courage, compassion. There are countless stories of Joe Biden reaching out to someone in their moment of need.
I got
This
hairy
is our
legs.
country's
Reaching out to kids needing a hug.
We need a president
That's
who
right.
respects our laws and the privilege of public service, who reflects our values and cares about our people. We need a president who will restore the soul
He
of
cares about the
America.
people for as long as he can remember
We
them.
need Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs.
I don't trust that music.
We have experienced failed leadership under Donald J. Trump.
Deal with this insanity.
I've watched our country deteriorate.
The cover-ups, the lying, the favoritism.
The disregard for the Constitution.
Donald Trump has failed America.
It's time for us to reclaim our constitutional and democratic values.
We need to prove to the world, and most importantly, prove to ourselves that we are better than this.
We need an experienced leader, a leader that has passion, integrity, and strategic leadership skills. And his name is Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs.
Really wants the best.
That's
for
our
this
leader right
country.
there.
He understands and respects
He wants
our
the best for his
democracy,
legs
the rule of
scratched.
law, and the U.S. Constitution. He will move
He
toward creating.
He
a
doesn't even
more
know the
perfect
freaking beginning
union.
words to the Declaration.
Oh, you know the thing. Actually, let me get that one down too. You know the
All
thing.
right.
Hi. Hi,
Oh.
this is Senator Chuck Schumer, Democratic
With a
leader
very
from
loud
my
engine in the background. What's
hometown,
up with that?
Brooklyn, New York.
He looks worse than usual.
Behind me is a sight I see out of my window every night, the Statue of Liberty, the same sight that greeted hopeful immigrants like my grandparents, a symbol of freedom and a beacon of hope to the world. Today, Donald Trump has divided our country, diminished our greatness, and demeaned everything that this statue represents. He even hid in a bunker as Americans were tear gassed. and
Cap!
beaten. Millions are jobless. 170,000 Americans have died from COVID. And Donald Trump
Cuomo.
says
Cuomo.
it is what it is. President should never say it is what it
Hey,
is.
didn't Michelle
President
Obama say that yesterday night?
Honoring the great
Guess it's bad to say it
sacrifice
now.
at Gettysburg didn't say it is what it is. President Roosevelt, seeing a third of the nation ill-housed, ill-clad, and ill-nourished, didn't say it is what it is. America, Donald Trump has quit on you. We need a president with dignity
Oh,
and
that's
integrity
right.
and experience to lead us out of this crisis. A man with a steady hand and a big heart who will never
A very steady
ever
hand.
quit on
There you
America.
go.
That man is my friend, Joe Biden.
Dang it.
He will be
I
a
got
great
hairy
president.
legs.
But if we're going to win this battle for
Come
the
on.
soul of our nation, Joe can't do it alone.
I got hairy legs.
Democrats must take back the Senate. We will stay united from Sanders and Warren to Manchin and Warner. And with our unity, we will bring bold and dramatic change to our country. Let me tell you some of the things we do. With President Biden, Vice President Harris, and a Democratic majority, we will make health care
I got hairy
affordable
legs.
for all. We'll undo the vicious inequality of income and wealth that has plagued America for far too long.
No, you
And we'll
won't.
take strong, decisive action to combat climate change and save the planet.
Oh my
We will
goodness.
protect voting rights.
Do we actually
fight
care about
systemic
climate change
racism
still?
in the
Or
criminal
do Democrats
justice
actually
system
still
and in
claim to
our
care about
economy,
that?
and restore a Supreme Court that looks out for people, not corporations. We'll rebuild our infrastructure and make sure every home, from inner city to rural America, has broadband. We will save the post office, and once and
It's
for
funny
all,
because Democrats have now
defeat
basically become the
COVID-19,
party of
this
big corporations
evil
and of Wall
disease.
Street, but they still pretend like they're not.
that can
It's
buy
so
freedom
hilarious.
behind us. We will reform our immigration system so that
I mean, actually,
immigrants
like you just go
yearning
look at
to
who
breathe
funds the
free
Democratic Party.
will at last become American citizens. Together, we can reignite
Democratic
the hope
voters,
once felt by
aka
millions of men and
The
women,
next
huddled
the next
masses on
frontier.
creaking ships who glimpsed this mighty woman with her torch, knowing they could build a better life here in America.
Legally.
And out of this long national nightmare, America will finally awaken to a brighter future and a new day.
I say cap to that. We'll wake up in
Senator
4
Chuck
more years
Schumer
after Trump's
reminding us that
reelected.
leadership requires integrity
Oh.
and accountability.
I keep forgetting it's her.
Real leaders don't ask what we can do for them. They ask what they can do for us. In a minute, we will hear from 2 former presidents, and they're going to speak to that. But first, here are Caroline Kennedy and her son, Jack Schlossberg.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get
60
like
years
a
ago,
yogurt to
in a
eat.
crowded LA stadium,
I'll be
my
right back.
father accepted the Democratic nomination for president. He challenged Americans to look to the future and join him on a journey toward a new frontier.
I just hope those Democrats know
It was a
that
call
he
to
would
the
not
young
agree
at
with
heart,
anything that they
regardless
currently
of
stand
age
for
or
now,
party.
whatsoever.
Times have changed, but the themes of my grandfather's speech, courage, unity, and patriotism, are as important today as they were in 1960. And once again, we need a
You know,
leader who
it's a
believes
double standard there
America's
because they
best
say that
days
John
are
F.
yet
Kennedy
to
still
come.
stands for what
We
Democrats
need
stand for,
Joe
even though they
Biden.
don't.
I've
But
admired
Abraham
Joe
Lincoln, who
Biden
stands for a
since
lot
I
of
was a
things,
Senate intern
somehow
in
doesn't align with the
1974.
Republican Party at
He
all.
shared my Uncle Teddy's commitment to civil rights, women's rights, and working families. He was a senator who cared. Who
All
led,
men and women
who
created
inspired.
by go.
That's
You
why
know
I helped
you
choose
know
him
the
to be
thing.
Barack Obama's running mate in 2008. When I was U.S. ambassador to Japan, I got to see Vice President Biden in action. He stepped off Air Force Two wearing his aviator glasses and a big smile, radiating American optimism and generosity. I saw a leader who was tough but fair, who commanded the trust and respect
All right,
of
what's
other
happening?
nations, and who always put America's interests first. Joe Biden's lifetime of public service reflects his unwavering commitment to our highest ideals.
Who's this?
This election.
Oh,
our
that's
future
Caroline
is on
Kennedy, the
ballot.
daughter of John
For
F.
my
Kennedy,
generation,
claiming
it will
that the
define
Democratic
the
Party
rest of our
stands
lives.
for what
We need to
John F.
tackle
Kennedy
climate
stood for.
change. We need to end systemic racial
Kennedy would hate
injustice.
his party now.
We need to make
Yeah, that's
healthcare
precisely
available
what I
for
said.
everybody, and we need to rebuild an economy that helps working families.
They said no,
We can
some
do this.
lady.
We can reach these new frontiers. But
Oh, they're
only
being
with a
real mean
president
in the
who
chat.
asks
They say
what
her
he can
neck
do
looks like
for our
ET.
country and what together we can do
That's
to build a better
rude.
world. It's up to us. Let's get it done.
Let's
Let's elect Joe Biden, the next president of the United States.
Go. You know the thing.
It's a great pleasure for Jimmy and me to join you in celebrating our next president of the United States, Joe Biden.
You're gonna become a cap artist.
I got hairy legs.
Joe and Jill for many years, and most recently, I've worked with him on tackling the demands faced by the more than 53 million unpaid caregivers in our country who are juggling work and other family responsibilities and putting their own physical and mental health and well-being at risk. Joe knows well, too well, the sorrows and struggles of being a family caregiver.
Go. You know
From
the
Joe's time
thing.
As a young widower,
He needs
Joe
care given to
was a
him, that's for
single
sure.
parent with a
That's all he knows
demanding
about it.
job.
At least for now, until he
and
forgets
Joe
His
it.
cared
caregivers
for
are gonna
their
run his
own
government for
parents
him.
And has done both
Yes.
at the end of their lives. He knows caregiving is hard, even on the good days.
Sally Yates is trending number 2 on
Joe
Twitter
and I
now.
also know the challenges of caregiving for those who served in the military and returned with visible and invisible wounds. And we know those caregivers.
Look at Democrats
are
acting like they care
in the
about
White
servicemen
House.
and women.
Jimmy and I are voting for Joe because he recognizes the challenges facing our family.
I got hairy
and has
legs.
the heart and the talent to make life better for all Americans.
She actually didn't say anything about Trump, unless I missed
ran
it.
for president in 1976. Joe Biden was my first and most
Oh, it's Jimmy
effective
Carter.
supporter
Wow.
in the Senate.
Yeah,
For decades, he has been my lawyer.
though we
and
haven't
dedicated
seen him
friend.
yet.
Yeah, where is he?
Joe has the experience,
Yeah.
character, and decency
Kinda
to
interesting.
bring us together and restore America's greatness. We deserve a person with integrity and judgment, someone who's honest and fair, someone who is committed to what
He
is best
couldn't
for
figure out how to
American
turn on the
people.
camera.
Joe is that kind of leader.
Stop.
The
He's
man's like
right
90
person for
years
his
old,
moment.
right?
You know, and
He
they
was
just-
probably like, how
Somebody
I turn
said
this
he's
on?
sleeping.
Dignity.
Oh,
Our
shoot,
sense of
wrong
place
comment.
determine not only our vision, but our actions.
You got me. You guys got me laughing out here.
No, I'm sure he probably
During
he
uncertain
couldn't figure out.
times,
He's like, how do I
Joe
turn this
Biden
on?
realizes that many
How do I turn it
American
on?
lives can be saved each day through the use of masks.
We have to respect our elders,
as
Vince.
recommended by our medical
No, I'm not
experts.
disrespecting him. I'm just saying he probably doesn't know how to turn
Joe
on the damn
Biden
camera.
Must be our next president.
Go. You know the thing.
Perfect timing.
Good evening.
Oh, here we go.
Oh God!
And it's the world's most important.
Just looking
job.
into his eyes just makes you feel
At the end, we
violated.
hire a leader to help
Hold
us
on, I got
solve
an idea.
problems, create opportunities, and give our kids better tomorrows. That's a tall order this year, With the COVID-19 outbreak on a path to killing 200,000 people and destroying millions of jobs and small businesses. How did Donald Trump respond? At first, he said the virus was under control and would soon disappear. When it didn't, he was on TV every day bragging on what a great job he was doing, while our scientists waited to give us vital information. When he didn't like the expert advice he was given, he ignored it. Only when COVID exploded in even more states did he encourage people to wear masks. By then, many more were dying. When asked about the surge in deaths, he shrugged and said, "It is what it is." But did it have to be this way? No. COVID hit us much harder than it had to.
They're spamming the pizza
We
emoji
have
in the
just
chat.
4% of the world's population.
Hey, yo.
25% of the world's COVID cases. Our unemployment rate is more than
Stop.
twice as high as South Korea's.
Wait,
2.5 times
get
the
the
United
picture.
Kingdom's,
Hold on, let me get it.
More than 3 times Japan's. Donald Trump says we're leading the world. Well, we are the only major industrial
Good
economy
catch.
to have its unemployment rate tripled. At a time like this, the Oval Office should be a command center. Instead, it's a storm center. There's only chaos. Just one thing never changes: his determination to deny responsibility and shift the blame. The buck never stops there. Now you have to decide whether to renew his contract or hire someone else.
Billions.
If you want a president who defines the job as spending hours a day watching TV and zapping people on social media.
This is what you did. I don't know which much better.
Denying, distracting, and demeaning works great if you're trying to entertain or inflame. But in a real crisis,
Shout out to Sribs in
it
the chat.
collapses like a house of cards. COVID just doesn't respond to any of that. To beat it,
Oh my
you've got
god,
to
you guys
actually
are
go to
crazy in the
work and
chat
deal with the
tonight.
facts.
Get them clown emojis rolling
Our
up. Get
party
them
is
clown
united
emojis in there.
Offering you a very different choice: a go-to-work president, a down-to-earth, get-the-job-done guy, a man with a mission to take responsibility.
This doesn't
and
look like a
shift the
desk,
blame.
Bill Clinton.
Concentrate, not distract. Unite, not divide. Our choice is Joe Biden.
Go, you know the
Joe helped bring
thing.
us back from a recession before, and he can do it again. In 2009, Barack Obama and Joe Biden started with the worst economy since the Great Depression. And when they were done, they delivered more than 6 straight years of job growth. What
There's
did
not
Joe
another.
do?
There
He accepted
isn't another direction
responsibility
they can
for
go.
implementing the Recovery Act. His work created a lot of new jobs and started many new companies in communities across our country. Now Joe's committed to building America back again. How? He's given us smart, detailed plans to invest in areas vital to our future. Innovative financing for modern factories and small businesses. Good jobs in green energy and conservation to combat
Notice how they
climate
never say
change.
anything about
A modern
H1N1.
infrastructure that brings small town and rural America the connectivity and investment others take for granted.
Oh my god.
And a plan to ensure that Black Americans, Latino Americans, Native Americans, women, immigrants, and other communities left behind are full participants in our economy and our society. Joe Biden wants to build an economy far better suited to our changing world.
I got hairy
Better for young
legs.
people, better for families working and raising their kids, better for people who lost jobs and need new ones, better for farmers tired of being collateral damage in trade wars, better for workers caring for the sick, elderly, and people with disabilities.
Yes,
Better
outsourcer in
for
chief
living
right here.
wage.
He knows how to do the
Affordable
trade.
Higher education and healthcare, including prescription drugs, and to childcare, a secure retirement, and for the first time, paid family and medical leave. Joe won't just put his signature on a check and try to fool you into thinking it came from him. He'll work to make sure that your paycheck reflects your contribution to and your stake in a growing economy. And this job
Each
interview,
according to their value,
the
each according to their
difference is
need.
You know what Donald Trump will do with 4 more years?
Billions.
Blame, bully, and belittle. And you know what Joe Biden
That's another B word.
build back better.
I got hairy
It's
legs.
Trump's us versus
Go,
them
you know
America
the
against
thing.
Joe Biden's America, where we all live and work together. It's a clear choice. The future of our country is riding on it. Thank you.
Oh, you timed that perfectly.
It's time
Never forget.
to call the roll and officially nominate the Democratic candidate for president of the
Oh,
United
they're doing that right now?
But this year, for the first time, the roll call is heading out to all 57 states and territories.
This is going to be interesting.
Places that showcase our nation's natural beauty. places where people are working together to secure a better future for our country, and places that are working to rebuild and recover, like Iowa, where thousands have been left homeless and hundreds of thousands have been left without power in the wake of last week's terrible storm. Our hearts are with you, Iowa. There's so much going on right now. Tonight, we come together to nominate a candidate who will fight for all of us.
I have to have it ready.
The convention delegates will do the official nominating, but you can join them in supporting Joe Biden. Text JOIN to 30330 to get involved.
Go, you know
And now
this, you
the
know
chair
the
of the
thing.
Democratic National Committee, Tom Perez.
I might have to. Tom Perez. I hate that guy.
It's great to be here in Milwaukee.
Oh, every time I look at his
Proud
face, I
Uniontown, whose
remember
grit and
why.
Character reflect the resilience of our party and our country.
He's the
There's
only
no
guy that
doubt
actually showed
these
up to
last few
Milwaukee.
months have been tough, but good leadership
Wait,
means being
you're
able to
right.
adapt to any situation.
Everybody else
And
is
I
in a
wanna
TV
thank the people
studio.
of Milwaukee for
This is
being
just another
such
episode of
gracious and
ABC.
Flexible hosts. It's also great to be back in Wisconsin, where I was lucky enough to marry my wife Anne Marie a little more than 3 decades ago.
She sure wasn't
The
lucky.
progressive movement has deep roots here. And since today is the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment's ratification, we should point out that Wisconsin was the first state to ratify it. What's more, in its one-word motto, forward, Wisconsin captures something so important about America. The way that no matter what challenges today brings, we always believe a better future is possible. That's what my parents believed when they emigrated to this country nearly a century ago, fleeing the iron fist of a brutal dictator in the Dominican Republic. This nation welcomed them with compassion, and they quickly learned that their hope of building a better life through hard work was shared by generations of Americans. Indeed, every American story is a story about that
Shout out to
hope,
Nature Boy Alfie.
that sense
Thank you for the
of
super chat.
possibility. It's what unites us, defines us, and it's what sustains us now. We will work to meet our extraordinary challenges because progress is made by the hopeful, not the cynical. And we will do that work together because movements are built by the many, not the few. And as you watch tonight's decidedly unconventional roll call and reflect on the diversity of our nation, remember, you too are part of the American story. And no matter where you come from or where you're watching from tonight, you have a place in Joe Biden's Democratic Party.
Oh, God.
Go, you know the
Delegates
thing.
and distinguished guests, under our procedural rules, 2 Democratic candidates submitted nominating documents to our convention secretary for the office of President of the United States, Senator Bernie Sanders and Vice President Joe Biden. As such, each candidate has provided names of individuals who will make nominating and seconding speeches on their behalf.
Oh, boy.
We will begin with nominating and seconding speeches for Senator Sanders. Speaking on his behalf will be 2 progressive champions, Bob King and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. First, we
I'm
hear from
Bob
the
King,
no-name.
a proud union member and
Who is
former
this?
president of a
I don't
great
know.
American
I just
union,
identified him in the top
UAW.
right, though.
I'm honored to nominate
Get the clown
Bernie
emojis in the
Sanders
chat.
for
Keep it
president.
going. Keep it
For
going.
decades, Bernie has led
Also-
the fight for working families, fighting for workers' rights to organize unions and collectively bargain. In a time of enormous inequality,
Wait.
he understands that we must confront large corporations which have far too much control over our economy and our politics. Bernie believes healthcare is a human right and should not be contingent on a job. He knows we can rebuild our crumbling infrastructure by creating millions of good-paying union jobs while combating climate change. Bernie's moral clarity has emboldened the Democratic Party's fight for justice.
This guy's
The
putting me to sleep.
grassroots energy of his supporters has cemented important advances in our platform. Bernie will continue to lead a movement that helps defeat Trump and delivers transformational change.
Billions.
I'm excited
Gotta
to
love
place
it.
into nomination the name of a great champion of the working class, Senator Bernie Sanders.
What a blast from the past when Bernie Sanders was
Good
relevant.
evening, bienvenidos, and thank you to everyone here today endeavoring towards a better, more just future for our country and our world. In fidelity and gratitude, to a mass people's movement.
AOC, your time's
working
up.
To establish
Wait, no. I reclaim my
social,
time. I reclaim my
economic,
time.
and human rights.
I reclaim my time.
Including guaranteed health care, higher education, living wages, and labor rights for all people in the United States. A movement striving to recognize and repair the wounds of racial injustice,
Oh, God.
colonization, misogyny, and homophobia.
Stop.
And to
Homophobia.
propose and
I'm
build
playing out with these
international
gifts.
systems
Yeah.
of immigration and foreign policy
Looks like the
that
gift didn't
turn
work.
away from the violence
It
and
did. You just got to look
xenophobia
carefully
of
at
our
it. Listen.
past. A movement that realizes the unsustainable brutality of an economy
Oh, it
that
is working.
rewards
That's cool.
explosive inequalities of wealth for the few at the expense of long-term
He is
stability
lost.
for the many, and who organized a historic grassroots campaign to reclaim our democracy. In a time when millions of people in the United States are looking for deep, systemic solutions to our crises of mass evictions, unemployment, and lack of health care, en el espíritu del pueblo, and out of a love for all people,
Yeah.
I hereby second the nomination of Senator Bernard Sanders of Vermont
Bernard.
for President of the United States of America.
Thank you, Mr. King and Representative Ocasio-Cortez. We now turn to nominating and seconding speeches for Vice President Biden. In a moment, we'll hear from Senator Chris Coons, who holds the Delaware Senate seat once held by the Vice President, and Representative Lisa Blunt Rochester, my colleague in the House. But first, we'll hear from Jacqueline Asby, a working American who met Joe Biden
Come
in a
on,
most
man.
unexpected place, the elevator where she worked.
What?
Oh, this is gonna be amazing.
I take powerful people up on my elevator all the time. When they get off, they go to their important meetings. Me, I just head back to the lobby. But in the short time I spent with Joe Biden, I could tell he really saw me, that he actually cared, that my life meant something
I don't
to
think he
him.
saw you for the same
And I
reasons you
knew,
thought he did.
even when he went into his important meeting, he'd take my story in there with him. That's because Joe Biden has room in his heart for more than just himself.
Oh,
We've
he's got
been through
room
a
for
lot,
lots of children.
and we have tough days ahead. But nominating someone like that to be in the White House is a good place to start.
Go, you know
That's
the
why
you know the
I
thing.
Nominate my friend Joe Biden as the next president of the United States.
I got hairy legs.
I'm Senator Chris Coons from Delaware, a small state where people
He should be
expect to
canceled
see
for his
their
last
senators
name.
and even sometimes their vice president. at
Oh,
the
it's actually
supermarket,
spelled
at
like
a
that? I got
hairy
church,
legs.
Out in their community.
Man.
Joe fights for us
I got
because he
hairy
knows
legs.
our struggles and hopes. He knows the pain of loss and the worries of working parents. And he's always brought that same personal concern
Oh, the
he
GIF.
showed for Jacqueline to getting things done as our senator and then as President Obama's vice president. Joe's tackled gun
I
violence
got
and
hairy
climate
legs.
change. He stood up to dictators and supported our troops. He led the recovery effort after the last recession and delivered
Somebody
on a
said Chris
promise to
Coons is
make
an
our healthcare
egghead, and now I
system
can't get it out of my
fairer
head.
and stronger. Through it all, Joe Biden's never
Go,
forgotten where he's
you
from.
know the you
He's
know
been
the
sustained
thing.
by his faith and his family through the toughest of times. And he has the heart and the compassion for this moment. For all of these reasons and more, it's my honor to second the nomination of my good friend, Joe Biden, to be the next president of these United States.
I'm Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester.
I got hairy legs.
In some history class in the future, children are learning about this moment.
Oh, it's gonna
They're
be
learning
so
about
sad.
our pain,
Oh.
our grief,
Oh.
our worry.
Oh.
But they're also learning about a man named Joe Biden.
Go, you
about
know
how
the
he
you know the
restored
thing.
decency to our government and integrity to our democracy.
Yeah, that's a good question. Who are you?
They're learning
I
about
thought we were
how
only supposed to hear from
conquered a
2 people.
pandemic, stood
Maybe it was
united
3.
for
I don't
racial
know.
justice,
We still don't know
and
who she
built
is.
our economy back better than before. They're learning about how his leadership gave their generation a fighting chance. They're learning about us too, about the resolve and the unity we showed against the forces
Oh, they're
of
spamming
hatred
the eggs in
and
the
division,
chat now.
about the work we will do over the next 11 weeks, and about the night when, despite our distance, we came together to nominate Joe Biden for President of the United States, a nomination I'm honored to second.
Go, you know the thing.
Thank you all. Pursuant to our convention rules,
Shout out
we'll
to
now
Maurice Delk in the
proceed to a
chat.
roll call by states on the selection of our party's candidate for the President of the United
Thumbs
States.
up accepted.
Secretary Ray.
This is gonna be interesting.
Oh, these gifts are all too big for the thing. I'm trying to.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh
coming to you
man, look at
live
this
from the
guy.
Wisconsin Center. It's time to begin our virtual trip around
I want to make
America.
some jokes, but it might be
Our
homophobic.
journey begins at the site of
Who's
a
this?
major step forward in our national journey towards justice. Let's go to
What's going
Alabama.
Oh, we're getting various
John
votes.
Lewis marched across this bridge in 1965 to demand the right to vote. A lifetime later, civil rights and voting rights remain America's great unfinished business. But those who walked this path before us showed us the way forward. If we want to honor John Lewis's incredible life, let's restore the Voting Rights Act and ensure that our democracy belongs to all Americans.
This comment section is wild.
Alabama casts 8 votes
Also-
for
Go,
Bernie
you know
Sanders.
the thing.
And the great state of Alabama casts 52 votes for our next president of these United States, Joe Biden.
The way they announce these just
I got hairy legs.
Alaska.
always sound
The
so
waters
biased.
we rely on to feed our families and make a living are threatened by climate change. When Joe Biden was vice president, he and President Obama made sure
I got hairy
Alaska legs. tribes had a say on how these
We
waters
should have set
were
one up for Obama too.
Donald Trump took it away.
Billions.
We must elect a president who will respect our voices, protect our waters, and address climate change.
Hold on, I know just the
Alaska
one.
cast 7 votes for Bernie Sanders and 12 votes for the next president, Joe Biden. I got hairy legs.
American Samoa.
Joe Biden honors our service, and we trust him to support our community. As vice president, he helped expand rural infrastructure.
I got
to
hairy
communities
legs.
like ours, broadening our economic capacity. As president, he will continue to strengthen rural America from New England to the Pacific.
On behalf of the Governor Lolo Matalasi Molinga and the American Samoa Democratic Party, we proudly cast 11 votes for our next president of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
I got hairy
As a
legs.
middle school teacher, I
He
know
said that very
public educators
dramatically.
do
Yeah, he did. I was
everything
like,
they can
whoa,
to
come
make
on,
sure
man.
our students have quality learning experiences this fall. As a mother of a high school freshman, I know that it's far from perfect. As an NEA union organizer,
Oh
all
god, they're gonna do this every single state.
scientists, parents,
Okay,
and
right now is when millions of Americans are turning this off.
politicians.
Yeah,
It's
honestly.
like no one's
As an
gonna.
Arizona Latina, I proudly cast our votes.
Come on, man.
29 for Bernie Sanders.
Because it's a
and 51
spectacle when
for
they're
our
all
next
together
president, Joe Biden.
and they're going around the stadium. But this is
Feeding
like,
people is an act
oh.
of love, and I think we all can use a little extra love these days. So we took our food trucks out into the community to deliver meals
I'm
made
kinda
right
hungry.
here at the Clinton Presidential Center for our neighbors in need. Even when our leaders
I'm
let
kinda
us
tempted to
down,
turn it off.
America
Dang.
kept looking out for each other.
I wish I could
Arkansas cast
stand up and
9
just
votes for Bernie
walk
Sanders
away, turn on
and
something
27
else.
votes for our next president, Joe
Somebody said
Biden.
UFC.
I got hairy
California.
Climate change is
Honestly,
not a
I
hoax.
vote UFC
It's
fight.
real,
Go
and
for it. We'll
communities
miss
of
you.
color have been bearing the brunt of this reality for generations.
Joe Biden's plan to crack down on polluters to protect our air and water is about environmental justice and economic justice.
He'll prioritize equity and bring new clean energy jobs.
We're right
to Black
here.
and
Come
brown
on.
Neighborhoods, because that is how we build back better.
California, home to our next vice president, Kamala Harris, cast 231 votes for Bernie Sanders and 263 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Wonder how many.
I got hairy
Colorado.
legs. Han and I grew up in poverty.
I
as
wonder how many of
immigrants.
the takes they
We've
had to
been
do
able
for
to make a
that.
decent living. We're extremely lucky. But now we have 3 family members that tested positive for COVID, and it just doesn't feel safe to put Evan and Emma back to school. This is certainly going to be hard on them and on us, but millions of working families will have it much harder. I know
Yeah,
Joe
because their
Biden
kid can't
cares
go to
about
school.
these struggles, and that's why I trust him to fight for us.
People are already.
I got hairy legs. Colorado will cast 36 votes for Bernie Sanders and 42 for our next president, Joe Biden. I got hairy legs.
Firefighters are proud to put our lives on the line every day to protect our neighbors. It's a badge of courage. But while we are
Jeez.
protecting,
They're really
your
gonna do this for
family,
every single
we need
state.
a president
Come on,
who's
man.
committed to protecting ours, and that's Joe Biden. He has
Go,
the
you
courage
know
we
you know the
respect
thing.
and the commitment to working America.
We're trying our best, folks.
On behalf of our governor, Ned Lamont, I am honored to cast Connecticut's 75 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Go, you know the thing.
Delaware.
Also,
Delaware
Fat
passes.
Cap on that next president. Just saying. Fat Cap's in the chat.
Delaware passes. Democrats abroad.
What?
We represent the millions of Americans who live outside the United States.
Did they just? What was that?
Delaware
Make a difference
passes.
in the states that will decide this year's.
No,
but they didn't just say Democrats
to elect a president who will restore our standing around the world. Go to votefromabroad.org to learn more. Democrats Abroad is proud to cast 10 votes for Bernie Sanders and 7 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Go, you know the thing.
Welcome to my hometown and the best city in the world.
Your audio
Washington,
sucks
D.C.
as
is
bad as your leadership.
6,000 residents strong. We raise families, pay taxes, and serve the United States military, just like every American in the 50 states. The House of Representatives.
Who are those?
just
Why is that?
passed
Look at the that people
historic
standing behind
piece
her.
of legislation.
Yeah, that guy to the
They're
right
like-
looks like he was taken off the street.
From Black Lives
Here,
Matter,
come up here.
the
We'll give you
District
20
of
bucks if you
Columbia
stand next to her for
proudly
20 minutes.
passed 1 vote for Bernie Sanders and 43 votes for the next president of the United States, Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs.
Florida.
Dang it. What happened?
When my
Oh,
daughter
okay.
was murdered in Parkland, Joe Biden
Wow.
called to share in our family's grief. I quickly learned about his decency and his civility, but I also learned about his toughness and how he's beaten the NRA. Together with the other victims of gun violence and our nation's youth, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will take on the NRA again and win. Let's win back our freedom to live without fear.
You noticed how
cast
Florida
57
has,
votes
or
for
how
Bernie
Democrats
Sanders
running
and
for Florida
192
have been
votes
using
for our
Parkland as
next
nothing
president, Joe
but a
Biden.
political tool since 2018.
Go, you know the thing.
Georgia.
Oh, why was their
mentor,
That's all it
background
ever
in
is.
Florida
knew that the
so
right to vote is sacred.
depressing?
Georgians know that our ability to vote is under attack. Long
Cap.
lines, voter suppression.
Fat Cap in the
Donald
chat.
Trump is even trying to slow down the mail and force us to risk our lives to cast a ballot. We will not be silenced. Take out your phone and text VOTE to 30330 and make sure your voice is heard in this election. From the cradle of the civil rights movement and in the spirit of good trouble, Georgia cast our 117 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Go, you know the
7
thing.
years ago this summer, Chamorros became
So
U.S.
annoying.
citizens. We are proud of our resilience, proud of our indigenous heritage, and proud to be part of this historic moment for our party and our nation. From the land where America's day begins, Guam cast 2 votes for Bernie Sanders and 11 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
I got hairy
I came
legs.
from the Philippines to Hawaii, the land of indigenous native
I
Hawaiians.
thought we already went to Hawaii. We must
Today,
have went to
I want
somewhere
speak
else.
to my fellow immigrants, to the essential workers on the front line,
Ah, okay.
to the service members who wear our flag, to the parents with big dreams for
You notice
their
the word
children.
game they always play
No
when it
matter
comes
where
to
we came
illegal
from,
immigrant and
immigrants belong
immigrant,
in our
or
country's
illegal
long fight
alien,
for
really,
justice.
and actual
We
immigrant.
belong in the America we are building together.
Why is there a script
Hawaii,
everywhere but
birthplace
in
of
front of the
President
camera?
Obama,
She's
cast
looking up
9
at.
votes
She's
for
looking into
Bernie
the sun.
Sanders and 23 votes for our next president.
That looks like a green
Joe
screen.
Biden.
Go, you
Idaho.
know the
We're not waiting
thing.
for Washington to act on climate
It does look
change.
like a green
Here in
screen.
Boise, we know that clean energy doesn't just mean a healthier planet, it means good paying jobs. Imagine what we could do with
They
a
actually think
president that
dedicating all the
listens
money
to
we have into
science
climate
and
change
leads
will
with
actually give us
courage.
jobs.
Idaho
Oh, they're
cast
more
9
backwards than I
votes for
thought.
Bernie Sanders and 16 for our next president, Joe Biden.
Go, you know
Illinois.
the thing.
Discrimination has denied too
She's
many
more excited
Black
for Joe Biden
Americans
than Joe
the
Biden is
chance
excited
to
for Joe
own a
Biden.
home and build wealth. Joe Biden has a plan to end racist lending practices and help more people of color achieve the American dream of owning a home. This isn't just about racial justice. It's about stronger communities and more economic security for working families. Illinois cast 59 votes for Bernie Sanders and 122 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Go, you know the
Indiana.
thing.
Here in South Bend, we once feared that our best days were behind
Oh,
us.
here we go.
Oh,
But then we
Buttigieg.
reimagined
We forgot
our
about
economy
him.
with new jobs and even new industries. The Hoosier State is ready to lead America's recovery.
Come on,
With our
man. Get off the
diverse
screen. You're not
communities,
relevant
our
anymore.
talented workers,
Didn't you get the
and
memo?
our best in the world agriculture. Joe Biden's plan gives us a blueprint to revitalize industrial cities and rural areas alike. Indiana casts 2 votes for my friend Bernie Sanders and 86 votes for the next president, Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs.
We were going to talk to you tonight about biofuels.
Jeez, how long has this been going on?
Storm that swept through
No, we're
Iowa
about
last
halfway
week
through. About
has taken
halfway
a
through, I
terrible
believe.
toll on our farmers, our small businesses, and our families who are still without power.
So while we have the honor of casting Iowa's votes, 11 for Bernie Sanders and 38 for Joe Biden,
I got
we
hairy
also want
legs.
to ask you to keep Iowans in your thoughts during this difficult time.
Kansas.
I'm a fourth generation family farmer, but I worry about the next generation. Many of our young folks end up living from rural communities, find jobs. Joe Biden has a plan to help
I got hairy legs.
new farmers get a good start. And by funding schools and healthcare, he'll make sure that rural communities remain great places to live, work, and raise a family, generations to come. Kansas, the Sunflower State, proudly cast 10 votes for Bernie Sanders and 35 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
You know the thing.
One day when I was 14, my mom wouldn't wake up. Calling 911, I was
We
scared,
literally
not
have
only
nothing to
because
say
she was
anymore.
sick,
It's been
but because I knew we couldn't
it's been
afford the bill.
difficult.
Thank God she survived. When I told Joe Biden that story in 2008,
I don't blame
he
you, Sam.
promised to continue to fight for folks like us and got busy passing Obamacare. 2 years ago, when mom had a heart attack, we only had to worry about her getting better because Joe kept his promise. The Commonwealth of Kentucky cast all 60 votes for the next president of the United States, Joe Biden.
Louisiana.
This used to be an abandoned building. Now it's a
I got
thriving
hairy
art studio,
legs.
a community hub, a place where independent artists can make their name and parents can bring their kids during these
How come?
difficult days.
Okay,
of
how
remote
come the
learning.
lady on the right?
Our
Oh,
cities
she's
are
about to
strong
talk.
because our people make them strong. And our economy will come back because our small businesses will bring it back.
Louisiana cast all
You care
60
about
of
small
our votes
businesses?
for my
You
friend
have a fun
and the
way of
next
showing it,
president,
don't you?
Joe Biden.
Maine.
My American dream, I'm living it. A 25-acre organic farm on the lake, a roadside farm stand, and a bed and breakfast. My husband and I aren't corporate tycoons. We just want to make an honest living and feed our community. Small businesses like ours are the backbone of rural economies across America. Joe Biden has a plan to help more Americans, especially people of color, start their own businesses. Maine casts 9 votes for Bernie Sanders and 22 votes for our next president,
I got
Joe
hairy
Biden.
legs.
Maryland.
Black lives matter. And when it comes to racial justice, Black opportunity
Oh, there we go.
matters.
When Joe Biden rebuilds our middle class, he won't leave anyone behind. His plan, more capital for Black entrepreneurs,
More funding for public schools and HBCUs,
banning racial discrimination in the housing market.
and paying every worker a fair wage.
That's building back better.
Maryland
The home of Frederick Douglass.
cast 1 vote for Bernie Sanders and 119 votes for our next president.
Discrimination
Joe
is
Biden.
banned in the housing market. What are they talking
We need
about?
a plan to get the economy going again. Joe Biden will get the pandemic.
I've run out of commentation.
I got hairy legs.
In manufacturing and clean energy.
If you guys are still with us and you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button.
And
That's all I
build
gotta
back
say.
better so that our economy
Build back better.
is stronger
I'm starting to
and
hate that
fairer
more
than
and
it was
more.
before. Massachusetts cast 30 votes for Bernie Sanders and 83 votes for our next president.
I got
Joe
hairy
Biden.
legs.
Sanders.
Michigan auto workers are the best in the world, but we'd be nowhere without Joe Biden. And a lot of folks wanted to let Detroit go bankrupt. But
Joe Biden took him
believed in
nowhere.
us, and
That's where he
together
brought you
we
down.
fought to save our auto industry.
That's a corporate
Now he's
bailout.
got a plan to create a million new auto jobs.
He sounds so
investing in
upset.
Clean energy. Joe Biden believes in American workers. He's got our
Stupid.
back, and we've
They
got
can't.
his.
They can't. The Democrats can't decide if
Michigan
corporate
cast
bailouts are good or
53
bad.
votes for Bernie Sanders and 92 votes for our next president.
I got
Joe
hairy
Biden.
legs.
I'm gonna put these
Minnesota.
on to make it more
Here in
interesting.
Minnesota, the home of the headwaters of the Mississippi River. We know that a bridge shouldn't fall down in the middle of America.
Klobuchar.
But it did, and we came together to rebuild it. That's what we do in America. That's what Joe Biden will do as president. He'll build back better. He'll cross the river of our divides and unite this country from our cities to our suburbs to our rural areas. And now we will virtually cross the great Mississippi to St. Paul to hear from my friend, Mayor Melvin Carter.
Thank you, Senator. As the 46th mayor of a city that's more than ready for our 46th president.
Oh, this is the
I'm
guy that
proud
let
to
his
cast
city get burnt
Minnesota's
down.
31 votes for Bernie Sanders.
He encouraged
60 votes
practically.
for our next U.S. president.
I got
Joe
hairy
Biden.
legs.
Mississippi.
Tougaloo College reflects
At least
the
we're slightly
progression of the
speeding up
people
now.
from slavery to citizenship to scholarship and leadership, contributing to
Slavery.
Mississippi and the world. Our alumni are leaders like Convention Chairman Congressman Benny Thompson. Joe Biden wants to invest $70 billion in HBCUs like Tougaloo. Imagine what impact that could have on HBCUs.
So why
Imagine
didn't they
what
do that
impact
when
HBCUs
they were in office? I don't understand. Like, that's not something that magically appeared.
Bernie Sanders and 38 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Missouri.
As a member
Fat
of the
Cap in the
International
chat.
Union of
Go,
Bricklayers,
you know the
Allied Craft
thing.
Workers, Local 1 St. Louis, I love walking around the city and seeing the contributions that my brothers and sisters have made.
Don't you
We
dare say
stand
anything
ready
about
to
Kamala
rebuild
Harris.
Our nation's infrastructure. And with Joe Biden's leadership, we'll create millions of new jobs, building back better. Missouri cast 28 votes for Bernie Sanders and 50 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
I got hairy
When
legs.
COVID shut down my college, I came home to my parents' ranch to finish senior year online. But some days
Look at
I
that!
can't
Look
even
at
get a
that
video
scenery
to load
back
or an
there. No
email
wonder
back.
Kanye has a ranch out in
Without
Wyoming.
reliable internet,
That's just
there's
beautiful.
no remote learning, no virtual doctor's appointments, and just try starting a small business. Rural broadband can be a game changer for
Oh,
rural
come
communities
on.
like mine, and Joe Biden has a plan to make it happen. Montana cast 1 vote for Bernie Sanders and 18 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Go, you know the thing.
I work at a meatpacking plant, making sure grocery stores.
Why are you wearing a mask? You're alone.
college
Aside from
assistant
the
Take it.
20,
Oh my god.
20 man camera crew behind you.
COVID.
We can't
A lot of us
understand
don't
her.
have paid
Oh my
sick
god.
leave or even quality
I don't think I'd be able to
protection
understand her even if she had the
We are
mask
human
off. She's got a little bit of
beings, not
flubber
robots,
block on the
not
airways.
disposable.
I'm
We
sorry,
want
that
to
was
keep
mean,
helping
but
you feed your family, but we need a
I'm
president
getting
who will have
antsy.
our backs. Nebraska cast 33 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Nevada.
Working people are the backbone of our economy and the key to our recovery. Joe Biden knows it's not enough to praise them. We have to reward them. So let's raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Empower workers to negotiate for better benefits and safer workplaces.
We're flashing clowns right
and
now.
make it easier to pay for things like health care and higher education. I am proud to
Imagine
cast
saying
24
raise the minimum wage
votes
to
for Bernie
$15
Sanders
and then say make it easier to pay for
25
health care and
votes for our
student loans in the
next
same
president, Joe
sentence.
Biden.
New Hampshire.
Hello from the Granite State. We trust Joe Biden.
Missed one right there.
Joe will provide the leadership necessary to bring us back.
I
from
don't
this
even
horrible
know.
Pandemic. Joe has a plan to attack global climate change once and for all.
Ah.
And Joe will restore honesty, decency, and trust to the White House, reunite all Americans, and build a better future for all. The great state of New Hampshire awards 9 delegates to our friend and neighbor.
Shout out to
Bernie
Brandon in the
Sanders,
chat.
and 24 delegates to the next president of the United States.
I
Joe
got
Biden.
hairy legs.
New Jersey.
We've been hit hard by COVID, but we're coming back. But
There
we
wasn't
have
much
be
to hit
smart.
before.
We have to listen to the experts.
Is this the
We have to
governor
have
that
a president
doesn't care about the
who has
Bill
a
of Rights
plan.
or whatever? Who is this?
That's why, in memory of all those who lost,
He looks like the
in
type of guy to say
solidarity
that.
with those
He also
who
looks
are
like the
sick
type
or
of guy to break your
struggling,
legs for
and in
debt.
eternal
That's the governor, right?
gratitude
I know
for
the
our
governor's a
heroic
bald guy.
Frontline workers. New
Probably.
Jersey cast 5 votes for Senator Bernie Sanders and 139 votes for the
Hey,
next
she didn't
president
speak.
of
How
the
come she
United
doesn't have a
States,
mask on?
Joe
She didn't even
Biden.
speak.
Misogyny.
Go, you know the thing.
Greetings and good evening.
Oh my
My name
God.
is Derek Lente, state representative, coming to you from the homeland of my ancestors here at the beautiful Pueblo of Sandia. New Mexico is a
She
diverse
can't even hold the
state,
sign right.
home to
You
23
have to-
indigenous
Come on.
sovereign nations with a rich
had one
multicultural
job.
history. We are all united by the love of this beautiful place that we call home. And we
Somebody
believe
said he
that
looks
we
like
owe
Kingpin
it
from
to the next
Spider-Man. That's
generation
exactly what
to
I was
protect the
thinking.
natural and cultural resources that are their inheritance. And to that end, also respect tribal sovereignty. New Mexico proudly casts 4 votes for Bernie Sanders and 42 votes for the next president of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
Go, you know the thing.
New York.
Make it stop. Oh, New York.
As an immigrant from St. Vincent and the Grenadines and an 1199 SCIU registered nurse, I am proud to be part of America's fight against COVID-19. But many healthcare workers
still have your
don't
job?
get paid
My
sick
bed is
leave
right here.
or
I
have
could just,
enough protective equipment. I have 2 children with asthma
We'll
and a
see.
mother
We'll see
who's
Vince
high risk.
afterwards.
I
He's
worry
taking a nap.
every day about bringing this virus home to them. Joe Biden's plan will help us take better care of
Hey,
your
shout out to
loved
Hip Hop
ones
Thinker in the
as
chat.
well
He's
as
been
our
here
own.
since the beginning.
Along with Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, I cast New York's votes. 44 votes for Bernie
I agree.
Sanders.
Make it stop.
277
I'm asleep.
for our next president.
Dude, I was already sleeping.
Go, you know the thing.
It's not Joe
North
time.
Carolina.
It is not Joe
I've been doing
time.
this for a long time, so let me just be plain.
It was
Black
Joe time for
people,
40
especially
years.
Black women are the backbone of this party, and if we don't show up, Democrats don't get elected. I'm putting on my mask, and we're going to every corner in North Carolina to help organize.
Yeah, you need the vote, don't you? You cannot live without that black vote that you spent so many years whipping into shape, right? Get out of here. Joe Biden had 40 years to show up for you, but instead he said he didn't want his kids to go to school with you because it's a racial jungle. That doesn't make any sense.
Of the United States, Joe Biden.
Fat caps in
North
the chat.
Dakota.
Schmidt, this woman's a clown.
Dosha, Jeed, welcome to the homelands of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara people. I graduated from a class of just 44 students, and I had to drive 3 hours just to take the SATs. But growing up, I knew that college was a ladder that could take you anywhere. Joe Biden knows that everyone deserves a chance to climb that ladder. So as a proud tribal member, as a Mexican American, and as a Harvard graduate, I am proud to cast North Dakota's votes. 10 for Bernie Sanders and 8 for our next president, Joe Biden.
Go, you know the
Northern Mariana Islands.
I'm Joe Biden and I forgot this
And
message.
hello from paradise, the Northern Mariana Islands. We may be far away, but we're American citizens. And this year, for the first time
Most
in
of you.
decades, we finally have a Democratic slate because Democrats organize everywhere. But we don't get to vote for president, so please don't waste yours. The Northern Mariana Islands is proud to cast 2 votes for Senator Bernie Sanders and 9 votes for our next president, Joseph Biden. Sidus Maasi, Olamai, and thank you.
Ohio.
It seems like every time
That's the most excited I've ever heard anybody be for
in a
Joe.
Donald Trump
No.
promise, they wind up getting screwed.
What?
Well, Joe Biden has more than just a promise. He actually has a plan to bring.
Why is he
jobs
so
back
far
to
away?
America.
Why is he talking so forcefully? Joe Biden's got a plan.
That'll create good paying jobs for skilled union
Oh, he's got
workers
the Ohio
like
State shirt
Josh.
on just to
Yo.
pander.
In the future,
So that
will
last
be
guy
made in
has
America.
his wife as a
Ohio
boyfriend.
cast 20 votes for Senator Bernie
Why is he so
Sanders
far away?
and
The thing is,
134 votes
he's so
for the
far
next
away, but the
president,
background's not
Joe
even cool.
Biden.
Like
Yeah.
you zoom out, so you see the background in the background.
Oh, he's back.
That's not an appealing background.
Oklahoma.
99 years ago,
Turned
racial
around.
violence devastated a thriving black community here in Tulsa. Today, hatred still lives in our nation, but so does resolve. Oklahoma refused to let ourselves be defined by division then, and our nation must turn back the tide of violence again now. Oklahoma cast 13 votes for Bernie Sanders and 24 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Oregon.
As Black Americans standing on Native land, we proudly represent Oregon. The dual viruses, COVID-19 and racism, laid bare unequal health
Come on, man.
and deaths in communities of
Can you?
color.
I just caught
The
racism.
Democrats are working
I just
to bridge
caught.
divides and
I'm
make
scratching.
sure
I just
everyone
caught
has
racism.
equal access to low or no cost quality care.
Come on, man.
Today, Oregon cast 16 votes.
Shout out to
for Bernie
Kanye.
Sanders.
I mean, Kanye in
And
the
with
chat.
Senators Wyden and Merkley's support, cast 57
Kanye's finna
votes for
intervene.
Joe Biden.
Destroy Joe Biden. I mean, oh yeah, destroy Joe Biden.
Pennsylvania.
When Joe Biden
Also-
was
Yo,
young,
you know
his
the-
father
you know
came
the
to this
thing.
house in Scranton.
I got
sat
hairy
down
legs.
on Joe's bed.
Good
and
catch.
Told him he lost his job. It's a moment that stayed with Joe his entire life. Right now, all across America, working families are experiencing that same fear and uncertainty. But Joe Biden has a plan to help them and to help our country build back better, creating millions of good
Build back better.
I got hairy
so
legs.
More parents will be able to tell their kids what Joe's dad said to him
I got
all
hairy
those years
legs.
ago. It's gonna be okay. Pennsylvania.
If
cast
Democrats get into
34
power, I want to
votes
see
for
them
Senator
cede
Bernie
all the land back
Sanders
to the Native
and
American tribes.
175
Then you can
votes
say it's no
for the
longer
next
stolen land,
president of the
right?
United States, Scranton's
wait on
own
that one.
Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs. Go, you
Puerto
know
Rico.
the, you
Los
know the
puertorriqueños
thing.
somos ciudadanos
Puerto
estadounidenses.
Rico.
Algo que Donald Trump
Really?
parece haber olvidado en los momentos más difíciles que enfrentó nuestra isla. Joe Biden siempre ha apoyado las causas de Puerto Rico.
I got
Y
hairy
como
legs.
presidente será nuestro aliado en la Casa Blanca. Sé que es la mejor alternativa para que los sobre 3 millones de ciudadanos americanos que residimos en esta bendita isla de Puerto Rico podamos ser
The
respetados.
caption is just
Puerto Rico
speaking
emite
Spanish.
5 votos para Bernie Sanders y 53 votos para Joe Biden.
Para Joe
I
Biden.
got hairy legs.
Rhode Island, the Ocean State.
where our restaurant and fishing industry
That looks
have
good.
been decimated by this pandemic, are lucky to have a governor, Gina Raimondo, whose program lets our fishermen sell their catches directly to the public, and our state appetizer, calamari, is available in all 50 states. The calamari comeback state of Rhode Island casts 1 vote for Bernie Sanders and 34 votes for the next president.
Look at that lady.
I got hairy legs.
South Carolina.
Mr. Chairman, I am Jamie Harrison, candidate for the United States Senate, speaking from the campus of South Carolina State University, the alma mater of Majority Whip Jim Clyburn and the late Dr. Emily England Clyburn, for whom its honors college is named. This proud HBCU has contributed 22 general officers to our armed services. And tonight,
Sanders.
I proudly cast South Carolina's 64 votes as follows: 15 for Bernie Sanders and 49 for our next president of the United States.
I got
Joe
hairy legs.
Biden.
He said it. You put it early.
Midakiapi, relatives. As a first American and citizen of the Standing Rock Sioux
I
tribe,
knew it was coming.
I welcome you to the Pahasapa, the Black Hills, the site of my creation story, and home to the Ocheti Shakowi, the great Sioux Nation. We
Oh.
often say Midaku.
Hey, where's that little stick you
We are
used
all
to
related.
have?
Our next president
For
must
Pocahontas?
Oh, that's only
live
that's only for
philosophy
Elizabeth
the
Warren.
betterment
That's
of
not for
our
real
next
Native.
seven
That's not to make
generations.
fun of real Native Americans. Only
We
Elizabeth
passed
Warren.
3 votes for Senator Bernie Sanders and 17 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Tennessee.
I got hairy
100
legs.
years ago tonight,
this?
suffragists based here at the Hermitage Hotel in Nashville cheered as Tennessee became the 36th and deciding state to ratify the 19th Amendment, granting women the right to vote. This year, I'm casting my very first presidential vote for Joe Biden. Women will decide this election and will replace Donald Trump with a president who respects us. Tennessee cast 23 votes.
I haven't had a president
Sanders
respect me as
and
much as
50
Trump
votes
since
for our next
anyone.
president
I got
of the
hairy
United
legs.
States, Mr.
I got
Joseph
hairy
R.
legs.
Go, you know the thing.
Texas.
Oh,
A year ago, my safe
this is going on
community of
almost
El
as
Paso
long
was
as Michelle
targeted by a
Obama's
domestic
speech
terrorist
did.
who murdered 23 innocent people, injured 23 more, and devastated all of us. His motive was racism and xenophobia.
Oh, come
In
on.
the face of hate, we choose love. Siempre lo hemos hecho, siempre lo haremos.
Bust out the Spanish.
And in the face of continued gun violence in America, we
Gun
demand
violence.
change. The
What a
time has come
buzzword.
to act.
It's funny, you know,
One
because
abstention, the great
actual
state
gun
of Texas
owners
cast
actually
98
saved
votes for
people from
Bernie
that
Sanders
shooting. Like they
and
literally ran in there and like
151
pulled people
votes
out.
for our next president,
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
Where are they putting the?
I got hairy legs.
Utah.
Here in Utah, we've had mail-in voting for years. If you're registered to
Absentee
vote, you
voting.
automatically get sent a ballot.
Oh,
it's
shoot.
fast, it's reliable, and it's easy for everyone to participate. In 2016, we had turnout well over 80%, and this year we're expecting even higher. That's why Democrats and Republicans here in Utah agree. Mail-in voting strengthens our democracy. Utah cast 17 votes
I'm gonna
for
throw a
Bernie
fat cap on
Sanders
that one.
and 16 votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
I got hairy
Vermont.
legs.
The state of Vermont, strongly believing
Oh,
in
there's
economic
Bernie.
justice,
Look at him.
social
Oh, there he
justice,
is in the back where he
racial
belongs.
justice, and environmental justice, proudly supporting democracy and the Constitution of the United States, and vehemently opposed to the authoritarianism and racism of the Trump administration, is proud to cast 15 votes for Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and 9 votes for the next president of the United States, Joe Biden.
I got hairy
U.S.
legs.
Virgin Islands.
In recognition of our Governor Albert Bryan Jr.
Hello.
and a delegate to Congress since he Plaskett,
He's speaking.
we bring
He's
you
speaking to us
greetings
into
from
our
the Virgin
minds.
Islands of the United States.
Yeah, what's up with the
Where
audio?
young Alexander Hamilton
The audio
was
is
raised,
like
the vacation home of
It's
our
like
nominee,
3-dimensional audio.
turquoise waters, white sand beaches, and friendly people.
I'm not hating
We
it.
cast our
It gives
13
this
votes for
gives this
Joseph
whole
R.
clip a
Biden.
new taste.
Virginia.
you know the
3 years ago, my beloved city, Charlottesville, Virginia, was attacked by white supremacists and a young woman was killed. We were attacked again when Donald Trump praised those racists, turning
Cap.
his back on a community
That is
that
not what
just
happened at all.
wanted
How come I
peace.
don't see fact
That
checks
was
every
the
time they
day
say
Joe
this?
Biden decided
You know how they
join
fact
this
check like
battle for
everything
the
we
soul
say?
of America.
I never see any
Over
independent
time,
fact
my
checkers.
wife Ghazala and I have come to know his soul
Fact
He's
checking
a
this
decent,
nonsense.
compassionate man.
The cap
He
in
will
there. Get
bring
the caps
this
up in
nation
there.
together.
I got hairy
Virginia
legs.
cast 32 votes for Bernie Sanders and 91 votes for our president, Joe Biden.
Go, you know the thing.
My turn.
Washington.
Xin chào. As a 15-year-old refugee from Vietnam, I knew that education was the key to
Oh, she's
finding
betraying us.
opportunities in my new home.
What?
She's
When having
betraying
children of
what
my
it means to be a
own, I
Vietnamese
became
refugee
an
right now.
advocate
Oh,
to
wow.
improve the public education system that gave me a chance to contribute to our America. Democrats invest in education because we are committed to fighting for all
Capping
kids.
is like lying. So if you
Washington
cap, that's like lying.
43 votes to
So that's what the
Senator
cap
Bernie
emoji
Sanders
means now for
and
the
66
kids.
votes to our next
And
president.
a very
Joe
obvious.
I got hairy legs.
West
Very
Virginia.
We're almost
very
done
obvious
here.
lie.
Have changed the narrative about public education. Parents, teachers, and service personnel have worked together to fight for safe and welcoming schools, sufficient funding for classroom equipment, and fair wages for teachers
It won't
and
ever
school
end.
service personnel. Elections matter, but so does activism. So let's keep fighting to guarantee
next we got
a quality
Wisconsin,
education for all our children.
Wyoming,
And let's elect a
and that's it,
president
right?
who will fight alongside us. West
Oh, it was
Virginia
alphabetical order.
cast
I didn't even
34
notice.
votes for our next president, Joe Biden.
Wyoming.
After our son Matthew's death in
Oh, I
Wyoming,
guess I
Joe
already
Biden
did.
helped pass legislation
Should be
to protect
Wisconsin next, so I
LGBTQ
wonder what-
Americans from
Really?
hate crimes. Joe understands more than
Maybe
most our
Wisconsin doesn't
grief
last because
over
that's where they
Matt's
have the
death.
convention.
But we see in Joe
Oh,
so
yeah.
much of what made Matt's life special. His commitment to equality, his passion for social justice, and his boundless compassion for
I got
others.
hairy legs.
With 3 abstentions, Wyoming cast 4 votes for Bernie Sanders and 11 votes for the next president of the United States, Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. They're
Welcome
coming
back
in
to
last.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a great city on native land on a Great Lake. It's the place where I was born and
Why
raised.
do they keep bringing up that it's on native land? Like, what are they trying to say?
This is
Stolen
a community
land.
that's been faced with some significant challenges due to historical injustice. But what many don't see is the joy, the resilience, and opportunity that lies within this community and so many others across America just like it, where hardworking people are fighting to provide for their families and to build a better future. We know that we build a better future for our nation by channeling Wisconsin's legacy.
Hey,
as
this
the
land was all
birthplace
native
of the
to
labor
dinosaurs
and
at
the
some
progressive
point.
movement, and uniting around a bold, inclusive agenda that uplifts every community in the pursuit of a more just future, one that recognizes healthcare as a human right, one that tackles the climate crisis and takes on racial and economic justice. Wisconsin cast 30 votes for Bernie Sanders and 67 for the next president of the United States of America, Joseph Biden.
Go, you know the
Joseph
you
R.
know the
Biden.
thing.
Delaware.
Long before this train station bore his name, you'd see Joe Biden up here
That's
on
why
the
they skipped
platform
it.
with the rest of the crowd, on his way to work or going home to his family. That's always been his North Star, delivering for families like his own,
I love
working
that.
people who struggle and sacrifice to build a better life. Nobody has ever had to wonder who Joe Biden's in it for.
A lot of people have had to wonder, actually.
But I've known Joe Biden for 40 years, and there's nobody I trust more to lead our party, unite our country, and restore our standing in the world. What's more, he's humble.
This guy?
He tells the truth. He treats everybody he encounters with respect and builds bridges, not walls. He is a leader made for this moment and the finest public servant I've ever known.
Delaware is proud to cast its 32 votes for our favorite son and our next president.
Our friend, Delaware, Joe Biden.
Go, you know the thing.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm muting it. Yeah, we just
So-
got Joe Biden.
Is that him? Right? Is that him? That's not him live. That was pre-recorded.
Oh, no, it was not him live.
It's past by. It's 10.
Oh.
It's 10 o'clock on the
Yeah.
west.
Good thing I muted this. This is very copywritten music.
It's Biden's bedtime. That's not live. They recorded that earlier. Actually, maybe it is live because he looks totally clueless and lost. I think you just forgot what happened.
Yeah, they're playing.
He went on behind him
right now. That's the song.
He's
that's
very
playing.
startled by that. He's
There's
doing the
his wife.
iconic. That's the iconic. What the hell is going on? Arms, as I call them.
Everybody clap for Joe. Clap for Joe. Clap for Joe. Trans equality now. Clap for Joe. Clap for Joe. Keep clapping. Don't stop.
Is Joe gonna say anything, or is he just? Where is he? He's in the middle
he's
of a library, a school
Hold on.
library.
The song is still playing. Oh man. Democratic Party. Yeah, you can read the text. It's not too far behind.
So Democrats are officially in it. They cannot replace Biden with someone else.
Yep.
No, someone is actually wearing a No Malarkey shirt. Oh.
Oh. Yeah, they're still playing the song, so I'm keeping it muted, but he just said thank you. More claps. Keep clapping. Don't you stop clapping. You see the gun in the corner? Don't stop clapping. Oh. He is a scared man. Oh. You got Biden on the wall. Don't stop clapping. Yeah, no, keep clapping. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, clap. Jeez. All right.
And now we have an official nominee. On to the next step, electing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in November. Make
I
sure
got
you
hairy
have
legs.
a plan to vote. Text vote to 30330
Haven't seen that one in a
to
while.
Find out how. Now we're going to talk about a
Oh, we just
topic
lost
that
Vince again. Oh,
touches
there he
all
is.
of our lives: healthcare.
Healthcare.
The Affordable Care Act was game-changing. This pandemic has revealed
Game-changing
just
in
how
bankruptcy and
important it is
glitches,
to
but
protect
okay.
and improve it. Increasing access to health care and bringing down its costs have always been a priority for Joe Biden, because for Joe and for all of us, health care is personal.
It's the toughest battles that call for the steadiest leadership. Again and again, they were told to give up on affordable health care.
I'm muting the audio again. I don't trust this. Always got to use a song.
Look at Joe. He doesn't know what's going on again.
Yeah. This is just a big commercial about virtue signaling regarding the Affordable Care Act, the Inaffordable Care Act, the Bankrupt Care Act.
Oh, Joe talking to a child.
It's his favorite pastime. It's all that brings him joy in life. There he is. It's in black and white. And way more important news is a new money glitch in GTA.
Is it still there? I haven't tried it yet. I haven't had time. I saw a video saying you shouldn't try
Looks
it.
like it's only on PS4.
Oh, really? Oh, damn it. I'm an Xbox guy.
And a dad worth a lot of money.
Billions.
They said his name. Oh, yeah, I see it.
Go, you know the thing.
Chandler's the only one that can hear the stream right now.
Oh yeah, I still have it muted because there's music going on. Sorry, I forget because it's been going on for so long. Healthcare, kids dead, healthcare, wife died, healthcare, save his boys. Plan talks about lowering drug prices and making care more affordable. Thinking about
Okay.
both. Oh, Bo. Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine it's just silence and then all of a sudden billions. That's probably what it sounds like for you guys.
That's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah. When I'm president. Of course, Biden.
Not just those who vote for us, but all of us.
It's probably just stock
This job is not about
music.
me. It's about you. It's about us.
There we go. Oh no.
How are
Oh
you?
God, here we go.
You handsome boy.
He was born in 15.
They did it through a
and,
screen so that
with a
Biden
heart
can't,
condition,
you know.
known as transposition
Surprised he isn't
of
wearing a
arteries,
mask.
and
He has to
ended
block
up
his
requiring a
chompers off.
transplant. And thankfully, the ACA had already taken effect. But now that's something that we think about all the time, especially with his coverage, the potential of coverage maxes.
We haven't
and,
heard much from
his initial
Kamala
offer
so
was
far, which is
over
really
$3 million
surprising.
that was billed
Had
back to
it
the
sprinkled in a
insurance.
little here and
I
there, but
remember
not much.
thinking as Bo lay dying in bed, and we'd lie in bed with him, his brother and I and his sister, and thinking to myself, what in God's name would I do if the doctor walked in and said, I'm sorry, you've outrun your insurance, you've reached your cap, suffer the last few months of your life on your own.
I came from a part of the country, rural Missouri, where basically everybody was a Republican and I was a Republican. And I lost my voice. And we put off going to the doctor because we didn't have health insurance. When we finally got into somebody that could take a look at my throat, they said, wow, you've got cancer. It was stage 4, the worst kind of cancer you can have. My wife applied for insurance through the Affordable Care Act, and my coverage began on April 1st in 2012. And that same day, they started my chemo and radiation, and it saved my life. I'm here today.
Generally speaking, as a church, you're concerned about people spiritually, but you're also concerned about other areas of their life. And that includes
Democrats
their
only
physical
pray to
and
the universe.
ideological well-being. Because the Bible talks about all of us, but there are people in our
I do
country,
wish the
and in
Republicans would
fact,
actually
people
do
in my
something about
church
healthcare, though.
that can't
They
take
just basically
advantage of
put
it because
it's
they
actually
don't
their
have
biggest
good health
vulnerability
insurance.
because they just
That's
put it
how
off for
Deputy
like 4 years and didn't do anything about it. And now Democrats get to campaign off of, we're going to fix healthcare.
And the fact that it's a very rare disease, a lot of our medications we have to fight for. And before the ACA, we worried about our medications. We worried about the pre-existing conditions for our children. We worried about age and the cap, because having that cost of the medications, we would have reached that $1 million cap in no time. But once the ACA passed, we no longer had that cap of the $1 million.
The fear that you all live in, understandably, if somehow tomorrow they said no insurance.
This is the most I've heard from Biden in months.
You're not covered. It's just devastating.
He's probably
Hey,
reading
how
off a
you
script, though,
doing?
let's be honest.
How you doing?
That's all he can
you
do.
beat Hodgkin's lymphoma. God love you. But during it all, Trump was trying to rip away your coverage.
Billions.
The day you got your first chemo, Republicans voted to gut the ACA. I can't imagine what it must have been like going to sleep at night wondering what to do.
Ever since I was diagnosed, every night I'd go to bed concerned about what news I would get.
We're in the final stretch,
morning.
folks. Just about
And
30
even
minutes
still,
remaining
even
until we
today,
can all
they're
put
still
ourselves to sleep.
trying to take away our health care, even during a pandemic.
Look, we're going to make sure we don't lose that ACA.
I'm gonna make myself
We're
some
gonna
biscuits
provide
after this.
A Medicare-like option as a public option.
Yeah, some good old
Any
biscuits,
state where
midnight
there is
biscuits
if you
in the
qualify
oven.
for Medicaid,
Bake them
and
up
the
and
state hasn't
have myself a
provided it,
nice
you'd
midnight
automatically
snack.
be enrolled. I'm going to protect you like I tried to protect my own family, and I promise you that.
Get that out of here. Nice try.
At a campaign event to thank him for being so involved in the battle to cure cancer. Indeed, I have what's been diagnosed as terminal cancer. The inspiration and the empathy and the human love that he was shared with me has kept me going.
I made an appointment for my wellness checkup provided
You know,
for by
there's not
the
much we can
Affordable
say
Care Act.
because it'd
I
be
was
extremely
told that I had
insensitive.
ovarian
But
cancer. I finished my
they got a lot of
course
cancer
treatment,
survivors on here.
and since then I've been cancer free, and I'm very grateful for that.
I chose to become a Joe Biden delegate as I watched with our nation as President Donald Trump sought to dismantle the Affordable Care Act.
My purpose in life right now is to devote all my energy to getting Joe elected.
I got hairy legs.
Get the chance to become a Biden delegate.
You will continue to strengthen the Affordable Care Act.
Sorry, the
so
comments
that
are cracking
diseases
up,
like cancer
cracking me up.
don't go undetected.
Got to be careful. There we go. May 2018. What is this about? Oh, wait, it's music.
What's going on now?
It is somebody speaking. Their voice is a little different. I think they have some sort of condition, but yeah. All right, here's Lou Gehrig's ALS.
They should have done this toward the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
they're putting it now when like
That's what got me interested.
they put everyone to sleep with the
Billions.
the convention part.
Billions. He said it a couple times.
They put everyone to sleep with the nominating part, and then they put their best spot when like everyone is all tuned out. That's
a better country for you
bad
to
strategy.
live in.
We won't blame you.
All that matters to me is to make you proud, because I'm already so proud of you.
That's heartwarming. At least they can make you feel good sometimes.
Hello, America. My name is Audie Barkin, and I am speaking to you through this computer voice because I have been paralyzed by a mysterious illness called ALS. Like so many of you, I have experienced the ways our healthcare system is fundamentally broken. Enormous costs, denied claims, dehumanizing treatment when we are most in need. Since my shocking diagnosis,
they recorded all that other
I
stuff
have
back in
traveled the
2018.
country meeting countless patients like me, demanding more of our representatives and our democracy.
Paul Ryan.
Today, we are witnessing the tragic consequences of our failing healthcare system. In the midst of a pandemic, nearly 100 million Americans do not have sufficient health insurance.
They've been
And
planning
even
this
good
guy for a
insurance
while
does
for
not
their
cover essential
stream.
needs like long-term care. Our loved ones are dying in unsafe nursing homes, our nurses are overwhelmed and unprotected, and our essential workers are treated as dispensable. We live in the richest country in history, and yet we do not guarantee this most basic human right. Everyone living in America should get the health care they need, regardless of their employment status or ability to pay.
Oh man.
Even during this terrible crisis, Donald Trump and Republican politicians are trying to take away millions of people's health insurance. With the existential threat of another 4 years of this president, we all have a profound obligation to act. Not only to vote, but to make sure that our friends, family, and neighbors vote as well. We must
Are you
elect
voting for
Joe
Biden? No.
Each of
I'm
us
gonna
must
burn
be
your
a
house
hero
down.
for our communities,
Okay.
for our country, and then, with a compassionate and intelligent president, we must act together and put on his desk a bill that guarantees us all the health care we deserve. Text vote to 30330
You
to learn
cannot
how
vote
to
for
vote
Biden
safely.
because even if you think it's a
Because our
moderate
lives
vote
depend
and you're
on it.
voting against Trump's hate, you're just voting for Bernie Sanders in a lot of ways because your country's gonna die
Politics
to Medicare
and
for all.
elections can seem like these faraway
We will not be
things
able
that
to
one
afford it.
person doesn't have the power
And you will
to
have
change.
trash healthcare.
But what's happening in our country right now makes it clear how personal politics are. I've discovered that when I get informed and participate, my fear gets smaller.
You mean when you get programmed?
Voting is a big part of that. So knowing the change you want, vote for the leaders you think will make it happen. And if you're able, if you can, help fund this campaign. Please go JoeBiden.com
Joe, you know the-
and chip
you know
in
the
whatever
thing.
you can. With leaders like Joe Biden
Go to
and Kamala
Joe
Harris, we can
303.
build back better here at home.
Build
and
back
once
better.
again, strengthen our nation's security and standing in the world.
Oh, what's next? Oh, so, I guess that's their new campaign theme. That stupid song.
Gilliard. I'm 34 years old and I currently live in Los Angeles, California. I'm a 2009 graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, and I served on active duty in the Marine Corps.
People
as
are
an
dropping
officer
off
for
like
6
flies
years.
because this is
I
just
took
going
it
on
up
for so long.
to support, uphold, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. And I know that Joe Biden, in his years of public service, took a similar oath. And he
I got hairy
understands
legs.
the sacrifice of the men and women in uniform.
I hope they get Rob O'Neill to speak at the RNC.
Fighting for
You know the guy who shot
ideals
Osama bin
of this
Laden?
nation.
Ooh, that'd be
That
pretty
liberty
cool.
and
That would be
justice
awesome.
can be extended to all people. I know that Joe Biden understands that at his core. I trust him to lead us on day one into a greater future. There's nothing more important for me right now than making sure that we restore the soul of our nation. And I think that Joe Biden is the best person to do that. So thanks, Joe.
No. All right. What's next? Come on. Who's this?
Hi, I'm John Kerry.
Yeah, you.
For the 8 years of the Obama-Biden administration, we led by example. We eliminated the threat of an Iran with a nuclear weapon. We built a 68-nation coalition to destroy ISIS. We forged a 195-nation agreement to attack
destroyed
climate
ISIS?
change. We stopped Ebola before it became a pandemic. Donald Trump inherited a growing economy and a more peaceful world. And like everything else he inherited, he bankrupted it.
Fat
When
cap.
president
This guy does
goes
nothing but
overseas,
cap.
It isn't a goodwill mission. It's a blooper reel.
Stage
He breaks
5
up with our
TDS.
allies and writes love letters to dictators.
Also.
America deserves a president who is looked up to, not laughed at. Donald Trump pretends Russia didn't attack our elections. And now he does nothing about Russia putting a bounty on our troops. So he won't defend our country.
So many of these fake stories that the left fed directly to their direct mouthpiece, that is the media, and is now being redirected and reused by the left in their election ploy. It's so sad.
Our ideals and our brave men and women in uniform can't afford 4 more years of Donald Trump. Our troops can't get out of harm's way by hiding in the White House.
Kerry's the one that lied about his role in Vietnam, right?
President Biden
I'm trying to remember.
will.
I think
Joe's moral compass has always pointed in the right direction, from the fight to break the back of apartheid to the struggle to wake up the world to genocide in the Balkans. Joe understands that none of the issues of this world, not nuclear weapons,
I got
not the
hairy
challenge of
legs.
building back better
Not hairy
after
legs
COVID,
either.
not terrorism, and certainly not the climate crisis. None can be resolved without bringing nations together with strength and humility.
If we merge with the
Joe
nation,
Can you imagine?
understands our power
What do you
and
mean
they magnify
strength?
it. He knows you can't
Foreign leaders
spread
did not see
democracy
strength in
around
Joe
the world
Biden.
if you don't practice it at home. And
You
he
know the
knows
reason
that
why
even
China
the
wants
United
Joe Biden
States
in
of
office?
America needs friends on this planet.
I know the reason
Can't fight
why.
somebody.
Before
Can't
Donald
fight
Trump,
someone when they
we
can't
used to
fight
talk
back.
about American exceptionalism.
Capitulation.
The only thing exceptional about the incoherent Trump foreign policy is that it has made our nation more isolated than ever before. Joe Biden knows we aren't exceptional because we bluster that we are. We are exceptional because we do exceptional things. On June 6, 1944, young Americans gave their lives on the beaches of Normandy to liberate the world from tyranny. Out of the ashes of
And they
that
tore
war,
down their
we made
statues.
peace and
Yeah, we
rebuilt
did.
the world.
That's true.
That was and remains exceptional. It is the opposite
Until it becomes
of everything
racist.
Donald Trump stands for.
Billions.
This moment is a fight for the security of America and the world. Only Joe Biden can make
I got
America
hairy
lead
legs.
like America again. If you agree, text JOIN to 30.
Make America lead like America again.
Thank you.
First Build Back Better, and now that crap? Are you serious?
In the Situation Room, presidents make decisions of war and peace. So when Joe Biden walks into the Situation Room, first and foremost in his mind is how will my decision
Listen to
impact
this,
the
this
lives
scary
of the
background
American
music.
people?
He is experienced. He has.
This
made
is the
tough
guy.
call.
He's got courage.
Ambassador to
he's got tremendous
Ukraine.
courage, character, judgment. And he
Oh
can be
no,
tough. I witnessed it.
Joe Butter.
Joe Biden is decisive and well prepared.
Decisive?
For any issue.
That's the guy who freaking
He can't decide whether his wife is his sister.
No, he told Obama not to go through on the Bin Laden raid.
Having sent
Oh,
his
my.
son to war.
Let's
I
not
don't
forget
think
that.
anyone can be more ready than Vice President Biden.
He knows exactly what's at
No, he
stake
doesn't
when
know
we
what
send
the
our
hell's
troops
going on.
overseas.
He doesn't know what the hell's going on.
I'm waiting for him to say in the great year of 2010.
With us. They are
He might
force
just.
multipliers.
Joe Biden has a unique ability.
I got hairy
He knows
legs.
the leaders, and he's dealt with them for years. Knows what makes them tick.
They trust him, they trust his judgment, and they know that his word is good.
Not a word about
that
Kamala.
Biden's personal
That's so funny.
diplomacy will save American lives.
They're really
To build
focusing on
these
Biden today.
relationships takes decades, and to tear them down, all it takes is a tweet.
Thanks to Donald Trump, our adversaries are stronger and bolder.
Donald Trump has had a love fest.
So Trump having a once-in-history meeting with Kim Jong-un is somehow emboldening North Korea? What, make that make sense for me. Or what sense does that make? They say that his tweets are dangerous, but his tweets landed him a meeting with Kim Jong-un, which has never happened before.
And debased the presidency and our country in the eyes of the world.
The Russians
What was that picture?
Soldiers. I was shocked when I read that. But the president didn't even ask.
Why would that be
Vladimir Putin about
shocking
it.
to
That's
you?
un-American.
There's something wrong with that. I mean, that's a dereliction of duty. You're failing the troops. You're failing this country.
The first thing a president needs to do is find out what the facts are. This president doesn't care about facts.
Biden cares about the safety and welfare of American servicemen and women.
Oh my! I got hairy legs.
Policy to maintain our.
Let's get a fat cap for caring about servicemen and women.
Kurds against ISIS.
Get the fat caps in the chat.
President Trump told us to simply abandon the Kurds. It's shameful.
Joe Biden will be strong against dictators.
I've heard him on the phone.
Oh, yes.
That's the funniest joke I've heard today.
I got hairy legs.
Let's
Aside
stay
from
in
that
the
one,
Middle East, guys.
And everybody knows it.
He will do the right thing, no matter the political cost.
I've served for 2 Republican presidents and 1 Democratic president. I have seen the Trump administration make decisions without any thought, without any preparation, that have massive life and death consequences.
Well, where's the
At
death?
one of the most defining times in the history of the world. Joe Biden is uniquely qualified to be president of the United States.
I got hairy legs.
No, this foreign policy crap is just so full of crap.
State Colin Powell. 100
Oh,
years
here
ago,
we
a
go.
young immigrant left a dirt farm in Jamaica and set out for America.
He's mad
3
because
years
Trump
later,
hasn't
a
invaded
ship
enough
pulled into
countries.
New
I think
York
that's what it
Harbor.
is.
A young Jamaican woman gazed up at the Statue of Liberty for the first time. They became my parents, and they inspired
I thought
me
that
to
was
finish
Kamala
college
Harris'
and join
story
the
for a
Army.
second. I was
This
confused.
began a journey of service that would take me from basic training to combat in Vietnam, up the ranks to serve as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and Secretary of State. The values I learned growing up in the South Bronx and
South
serving in
Bronx.
uniform
South-
were the
South
same
Bronx.
values that Joe Biden's parents instilled in him in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I support Joe Biden for the presidency of the United States because those values still define him.
Also because he has some.
I got hairy legs. Values to the White House. Our country needs a commander-in-chief who takes care of our troops in the same way he would his own family. For Joe Biden, that doesn't need teaching. It comes from the experience he shares with millions of military families, sending his beloved son off to war and praying to God he would come home safe. Joe Biden will be a president we will all be proud to salute. With Joe Biden in the White House, you will never doubt that he will stand with our friends and stand up to our adversaries, never the other way around. He will trust our diplomats and our intelligence community, not the flattery of dictators and despots.
Just
He will
16
make it
minutes.
his job to know when anyone dares to threaten us. He will stand up to our adversaries with strength and experience. They will know he means business. I support Joe Biden because beginning on day one, he will restore Americans' leadership and our moral authority. He'll be a president who knows that America is strongest when, as he has said, we
Oh,
lead
that's
both
Joe
by
right
the
there?
power of our example and the
Maybe in the
example of our power.
80s.
He will restore America's leadership in the world and
Colin
restore the
Powell
alliances
is
we
mad
need to
that,
address the
that Trump
dangers
hasn't
that threaten
invaded
our
enough
nation.
countries.
From
Shout out to
climate
Liza
change
Jean
to nuclear
Williams. She's been here for a
proliferation.
while.
Today, we are a country divided, and we have a president doing everything in his power to make it that way and keep us that way. What a difference it will make to have a president who unites us, who restores our strength and our soul. I still believe that in our hearts, we are the same America that brought my parents to our shores, an America that inspires freedom around the world. That's the America Joe Biden will lead as our next president. Thank you very much. I got hairy legs.
It was a friendship that shouldn't have. John, a former Navy pilot just released from a North Vietnamese prison. Joe, a young senator from Delaware.
Legislative assistance.
But in the 1970s, Joe was assigned a military aide for a trip overseas.
I was the Navy's Senate liaison and used to carry your bags on overseas trips.
The son of a gun never carried my bags. He was supposed to carry my bags, David, but he never carried my bags.
John and Joe traveled thousands of miles together. The families got to know each other, gathering for picnics in the Bidens' backyard.
They would just sit and joke. It was like a comedy show sometimes to watch the two of them.
But when John was elected to the Senate as a Republican from Arizona, they found themselves on opposing sides.
We're in different parties. We hold different views on many issues.
They'd be going at it on the floor, and you'd think, oh, these guys must really, really, really dislike each other. And they'd be having dinner that night together.
Senator Biden had great respect for the institution of the Senate. He built.
They're really trying to capture the Rhino vote right now.
That were personal.
We've always been willing when we thought.
And I bet they're doing a great job too.
Across the aisle.
No, they are. It's a nice, touchy little cute video.
Good for the country.
Yeah.
It takes trust to get things done in a divided government. And I think with Joe Biden, his colleagues knew that your point
John
is equally
McStain.
valid to him.
Even if a deal seemed out of reach, it was always Joe who tried to cross the aisle.
He was like a natural for that. He just had an ability to find the common ground, but never give up your principles.
For 3 decades, Joe was able to move his colleagues and find a way forward. On violence against women, banning chemical weapons, assault weapons, and controlling nuclear arms.
Was a style of legislating and leadership that you don't find much anymore.
And when millions of Americans
Does Joe
were
still
faced with
scream
losing
leader
their
to
health
you?
insurance,
It's my question to everybody
it
in the
was Joe's
chat.
friend
Does
who
Joe
saved
sound like a leader?
Obamacare by crossing the aisle.
McCain has his vote with a thumbs down.
John and I have been given several awards about bipartisanship. We don't understand why you should get an award for bipartisanship.
Thank you for your example. I'm proud to remain the same good guy that you were when you first got here. Most of all, for
Yeah, I'm
your
seeing a lot of
friendship.
no's.
My life and the lives of many have been enriched by it.
Yeah. They're really trying to get us.
Yeah, I think Joe Biden is going to
Yeah,
speak
I
for
think
about
Joe
10 minutes.
Biden's about to
We're gonna be
go.
done. And we're finally going to be done. I was already tired when we started this because I freaking went out today and the sun made me tired because it's like 100 degrees outside. And now I'm like super exhausted. Like I am ready to knock out. My goodness.
So tough and loyal. She has to be tough if you're going to bite her fingers all the time. Wow. Joe Biden was Mr. Steal Your Girl back in the day. He had the gel in his hair and the chain around his neck. He was like, hey, yo, ma, we going on a date. And she was like, okay, Joe. And called up other dude. I have a friend coming in.
I wasn't big on the whole date scene thing. But when I met Jill, I fell in love with her when I saw her.
Nope. Dang it. Just for a second when they turned it off, I was like, all right, I can let them hear. And then nope, music's right back. I'm tired of it. I thought Biden was owned by the children.
I got hairy legs.
Swear to God.
No, dang it. You guys hear it. I'm just trying to play the audio.
I'm Joe Biden's husband, Joe Biden.
Wait, did he actually say that?
No, he said Jill, but it sounded a lot like Joe. So
Joe
that's why
Biden's
it
husband.
sounds like he says, I'm Joe Biden's husband, Joe Biden.
If only the Democrat Party could get struck for copyright or some crap. That'd be hilarious. How sweet. Now let her speak already. Nope. Oh my. Why should we care? What? Why should we care? Just say your speech already so we can go to sleep. She looks like Paula Dean. Boring. I can't even play the audio because of all the music they're using. This is like the fourth or sixth song they started playing.
He probably proposed to her like, "You may reject me, man, but I'm gonna wrap this ring around your finger."
If you don't marry me, you ain't a woman. Hey, the Blue Angels, those flew a little bit earlier this year. Wonder who got that organized.
You may cut me, man, but I'll wrap this chain around your head.
Back when you had to wear the grease on your hair, and all the kids, they would rub my leg down.
Says great, and watch the hair
I got hairy legs.
come back up again. So I learned about roaches, and I love about kids jumping on my lap.
And I love kids jumping on my lap. I love that.
Bowen Hunt said, no, we have a mom and a mommy.
What?
Our mommy died. This is our mom.
Okay. That's interesting. Yes, they will, Go-Gurt. They will shut us down. Midstream. They don't care. This isn't Twitch. This is like the 8th song. Like, wow. You're gonna have to ask Joe about that one. Oh my. Oh, we're on to the 9th song now. I wish I was joking. You guys should go and watch this after we're done and listen to the amount of different songs. They play them for like 20 seconds and then they switch to a different song.
The licensing has got to be so expensive.
Honestly,
positive. So
I feel like the budget for this is higher than some Hollywood movies.
She's not your average grandmother.
Yeah.
She, she's the grandmother who wakes you up at like, what was it, like 5 a.m. on Christmas Eve to go soul cycling.
Yeah,
So,
we have a lot of stories.
Oh, she's a hip
she's
hip
a
grandma.
prankster. She's very mischievous. Like when she goes on a run, sometimes she'll find like a dead snake and she'll pick it up and put it in a bag and she'll use it to scare someone.
She's scared. She's got to scare the kids into Joe's basement somehow.
Washington person, and I don't think ever imagined herself being part of that.
When Joe was elected to vice president, I just thought, hey, I got to step it up here because there are things that I really care
Michelle won't
about.
even look at her.
Having had a father in the military, having a son deployed in Iraq, I saw the need to support military families.
Dr. Biden could draw
Even though you
anyone
guys
in,
can
and
hear
they
now, it's
felt
still
like
much
they were talking
not
to
much
an
better.
old friend. That is one of her superpowers.
I'm leaning back
When
again.
she was second lady, Jill told me that she would like to continue teaching at community college. And I said, that's insane. You cannot possibly do that.
Oh, there he
And I
goes.
said, I know I can do both jobs.
I never
Thank you,
saw
Los
her
Vince,
on
for the
any
count.
day of the week where she wasn't carrying a huge stack of papers to grade.
As second lady, she was teaching full-time for 8 years, 15 credits a semester.
These were students who wanted to be in your classroom. And I saw their tenacity and they were taking care of children just like I had done.
Oh, he's
She
back.
gave 100% from her energy to the students. She's a great teacher.
They're still on this? My
Teaching is
internet
not what Jill
timed
does,
out,
it's who she
and I come
is.
back and it's still on
Jill
this.
just simply cares.
Like somebody said they have insomnia and this is
cares
really gonna
about
do
other
it for them. Yeah. Oh god. Nope. That's song number 11 now. They're playing All of Me by John Legend. Jeez.
Is she gonna? Okay, this promo's gone on for about 5 minutes. So
I think
her
this
promo
is her speech. No, I don't
okay,
think
maybe this is. Yeah, maybe this
It's not like your typical speech, it's just a freaking video. Yeah, there's only 5 minutes left. There is no speech. This is the speech. I thought this was an ad. Hunter has made an appearance. There he is.
the cocaine.
Arrest
addict.
that man. They say cocaine Mitch, but we should really talk about cocaine Biden. I was just about to unmute and another song comes on. We're approaching 20 songs.
I think this looks like the finger biting speech. I think I'm not sure.
No, that was a different one because he was wearing like a hat. Oh,
That was his biggest rally, I believe, his first one, and then after that, his campaign went downhill, and then he somehow
then he had to
still-
get the Biden circles.
Yeah.
Those things are hilarious. Who's running for president? Is it Jill or Joe? That's my question. Okay, I think that was the last song. That was song number 13.
Nope, here she comes. She's gonna make a speech.
Nope.
And now, please welcome Dr.
guess so.
Jill Biden.
Longer promo than the speech itself.
Please kill me.
Oh.
I have
screwed it
always
up.
loved the sounds of a classroom, the quiet that sparks with possibility just before students shuffle in, the murmur of ideas bouncing back and forth as we explore the world together, the laughter and
I thought I was about to
tiny
see a rainbow
moments of
flag in that
surprise
class for
you
a
find
second.
in materials you've taught a million times. When I taught English
Camera
here
flip.
at Brandywine High School, I would spend my summer preparing for the school year about to start, filled with anticipation.
This is what they do in the school buildings when you're out learning at home instead.
This quiet.
Yeah, they
It's
filmed
like-
Democratic speeches in there.
You can hear the anxiety that echoes down empty hallways. There's no scent of new notebooks or freshly waxed floors.
Wonder who's
So maybe we should. Yeah, I
The
wonder
rooms
who.
are dark as the bright young faces that should fill them are now confined to boxes
Yeah.
on a computer.
This isn't a speech. This
screen.
is a production. That's how
I
you know
hear it from
how
so many of you.
disingenuous and fake
The
these Democrats
frustration
are.
of
They're like
parents
plastic or
juggling work while they
pleather.
support their children's
Fake.
learning,
Fake.
or afraid that their kids might get sick from school. The concern of
If your
every
kid gets-
person
oh,
working
man.
without enough protection. The despair in the lines that stretch out before food banks. And the indescribable sorrow that follows every lonely last breath when the ventilators turn off. As a mother and a grandmother, as an American, I am heartbroken by the magnitude of this loss, by the failure to protect our communities, by every precious and irreplaceable life gone. Like so many of you, I'm left asking, how do I keep my family safe? You know, motherhood came to me in a way I never expected. I fell in love with a man and two little boys standing in the wreckage of unthinkable loss, mourning a wife and mother, a daughter and sister. I never imagined at the age of 26, I would be asking myself, how do you make a broken family whole? Still, Joe always told the boys, Mommy sent Jill to us. And how could I argue with her? And so we figured it out together in those big moments that would go by too fast, Thanksgivings and state championships, birthdays and weddings, in the mundane ones that we didn't even know were shaping our lives, reading stories piled on the couch, rowdy Sunday dinners and silly arguments, listening to the faint sounds of laughter that would float downstairs as Joe put the kids to bed every night.
I got hairy
While
legs.
I studied for grad school or graded papers
Had to switch it up a bit.
under the pale yellow
Yawn.
kitchen lamp. The
She's
dinner
losing our
dishes
audience for us.
waiting in the sink. We found that love holds a family together. Love makes us flexible and resilient. It allows us to become more than ourselves together. And though it can't protect us from the sorrows of
Joe
life,
Biden's got a lot of love for
it gives
kids.
us refuge, a home. How do you make a broken family whole?
Sniff their
The
hair.
same way you make a nation whole.
Sniff their hair.
With love and understanding, and with small acts of kindness, with bravery, with unwavering faith, You show up for each other in big ways and small ones, again and again. It's what so many of you are doing right now for your loved ones, for complete strangers. For
It's
your
already 11.
communities.
Just stop.
There are those who want to tell us that our country is hopelessly divided, that our differences are irreconcilable. But that's not what I've seen over these last few months. We're coming together and holding on to each other. We're finding mercy and grace
What?
in the moments we
what are you
might
seeing?
have once taken for granted.
We're holding on to each other. Do you see that? She said, we're coming in together and are holding
our
on to each other.
similarities
She
infinite.
puts her hands like this.
We have shown that the heart of this nation still beats with kindness and courage. That's the soul of America Joe Biden is fighting for now.
I got hairy legs.
It fits so perfectly in the
After our son
pause.
Beau died of cancer, I wondered if I would ever smile or feel joy again. It was summer, but there was no warmth left for me.
You're telling
4
us.
days
We've been here the whole
after
time.
Beau's funeral, I watched Joe shave and put on his suit. I saw him steel himself in the mirror, take a breath, put his shoulders back, and walk out into a world empty
This is the
of
best.
our
This is the
son.
best take of them all.
He went back to work. That's just who he is. There are times when I couldn't even imagine how he did it.
I got hairy
How he
legs.
put one foot in front of the other and kept going.
One hairy leg in front of the
But I
other.
always understood why he did it.
Everybody.
For the
hold
daughter
on.
who convinces her mom to finally get a breast cancer screening and misses work to drive her to the clinic. For the community college student
Turn
who
blonde
has
in
faced
the
homelessness and
turn
survived abuse,
blonde in the
but
sun.
finds the grit to finish her degree and make a good life for her kids.
I got hairy legs.
For the little boy whose mom is serving as a Marine in Iraq, who puts on a brave face in his video call and doesn't complain when the only thing he wants for his birthday is to be with her. For all those people Joe gives his personal phone number to at rope lines and events,
And
the
children.
ones he talks to for hours after dinner,
The children.
helping them smile through their loss, letting them know that they aren't alone. He does it for you. Joe's purpose has always driven him forward. His strength of will is unstoppable,
Let us
and
go.
his faith is unshakable.
Oh,
Because
you're 3
it's not
minutes
in
late.
politicians or political parties or even in himself. It's in the providence of God. His
Odd.
faith is in
Funny.
you,
You actually
in
believe?
us. Yes, so many classrooms are quiet right now. The playgrounds are still. But if you listen closely, you can hear the sparks of change in the air. Across this country, educators, parents, first responders, Americans of all walks of life are putting their shoulders back, fighting for each other. We haven't given up. We just need leadership worthy of our nation, worthy of you, honest leadership to bring us back together, to recover from this pandemic and prepare for whatever else is next. Leadership to reimagine what our nation will be. That's Joe. He and Kamala will
Oh.
work as hard
I
as
got
you
hairy
do
legs.
every day to make this nation better. And if I have the honor of serving as your first lady, I will too. And with Joe as president, these
Go, you know the-
classrooms
you know
will
the
ring
thing.
out with laughter and possibility once again.
Yeah, of course. She
burdens
just
we
admitted that
carry
the
are
pandemic's going to
heavy.
magically end on
And
November
we
4th.
need someone with strong
That's
shoulders.
honestly what it'll be.
I know
The
that if
question is
we
November 4th,
entrust
2020
this
or November
nation to
something,
Joe,
2024?
He will
20
do for
yeah,
your
24.
family what he did for ours. Bring us together.
She
and
did.
make
She
us
did it
whole.
again.
Carry us forward in our time of need. Keep the promise of America for
Never
all of
forget.
us.
Oh, that's what you meant. That is creepy.
Great job. God, I love you. How are you?
That breaks social distancing.
Hey, everyone. I'm Jill Biden's husband. As you heard tonight, excuse me, you can see why she's the love of my life, the rock of our family. She never gives herself much credit. But the truth is, she's the strongest person I know. She's a
I think this is
backbone like a
live. He's
ramrod.
gonna gaff,
Yeah.
She loves
gaff,
fiercely, cares deeply. Nothing stops her when she sets her mind to getting something right.
He's reading.
And you know,
Oh, he's
for
reading.
all of you out there
Yeah.
across the country, just think of your favorite
He can't even say
educator who
honest
gave
words
you the
about his
confidence
wife.
to believe in yourself. That's the kind of first lady, this Jill Biden will be. God love you.
So go to joebiden.com to join our campaign.
Okay. Well, that's the end of it anyways. Started playing some very copywritten music. Get this out of the stream. Just move that to this. Let me close out of the tab. Don't have to hear the song. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the people that are still with us that made it all the way through, I just want to say thank you all so much for sticking with us. Congratulations, you've made it to the end. You know, we were here from 8 something all the way until 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a little easier for Vince. He's out there on the West Coast, so he's got 3 extra hours to live while I'm gonna eat my biscuits that I said I was gonna have, and I'm finally gonna get some rest because it's been a long speech. We had this one was just super repetitive and just hard to sit through, way harder than yesterday's because it would switch it up a bit. But this one, we had that whole section where it was going through every single state, and then we had that whole Jill Biden ad, and then we had the whole Jill Biden speech, what we thought was going to be short because there was only 5 minutes left, but nope, they just held us on for longer than they were supposed to. Oh goodness me, Vince, what do you think?
Yeah, I that just kind of bored me. Without a crowd or traditional convention, I think they should have honestly, you know, the more I think about it, I think they should have done the convention like 1 night long, maybe 2. But to think we have 2 more nights of this nonsense. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to it.
I knew that the Democratic National Convention could be bad, but they raised my expectations yesterday. It was good, so I was like, well, it wasn't good, but it was not as bad as I thought it could have possibly been. So I was like, all right, well, maybe it's a bit better. But today just shot those expectations way down. And there's a screenshot on Twitter. I don't know if I can bring it onto the screen, but it just shows that people are actually, I'm going to find this, there's a few of these. Let me just download it. But it's literally, it goes to show how much people are hating it. Let me put it up on screen. Give me just a second. It is an image of, here, it's going up right in a second, right there. Upload, all right, boom. It is people disliking it. Let me get rid of the little thing here. That. All right, so now you can see it. 1,000 dislikes. That is on the CNBC one. And then there's a few others that are the exact same thing like that. People are not enjoying this. I spoke to some Democrats while we were doing this too. I spoke to some through some chatting services, and even the Democrats are saying, as a Democrat, I am not liking this one bit. This is stupid. Some of them were like, oh, the Democrats are moving too far left. Some of the left-wing Democrats that I spoke to are saying, this isn't Democrat enough. There's no way to know about anything. I think Vince, hold on. But we've got 2 Vinces, Vince 1 and Vince 2. Hold on, bring Vince 2 back. I like him. Where'd he go? Dang it, he lagged out. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy what we saw just now. Probably one of the worst Democratic National Conventions, at least as far as I've seen it. This is the only one I've seen, so you know what? I can't say that. But it was way worse than yesterday, even with the Jill Biden, AOC, and whoever else they had speak, John Kerry, Colin Powell, all those terrible people. Lexi says it very well. This sucked. Go ahead, Vince.
Yeah, so I think the RNC needs a crowd. I think that's my conclusion here, is because they need a small crowd. I don't know how they're gonna do a crowd, but somehow, some way, they got to have a small crowd or do the place somewhere, because this is just totally put you to like. It's okay, you can watch a commercial for about a few seconds, a few minutes, even in the case of an infomercial, like half an hour. But the second you're going into a commercial that's 2 hours every night, that's what's basically a campaign ad. You're watching a campaign ad 2 hours every single night. Yeah, it gets redundant. You feel like you're watching the same thing over and over again. It gets boring. I think most people tuned out. I would love to see the ratings for tonight, but I really think most people have basically tuned out. And
couldn't get much worse than last night. Go ahead. I cut you off.
They might not even watch the Biden acceptance speech, honestly, because I think interest has really died out. It just gets boring. You know, it just gets boring.
Yeah. to be honest, it seems like Joe Biden's more proud to be Jill Biden's husband than the nominee for the Democratic presidential nomination. He's like, I'm Jill Biden's husband, and yada yada. And somebody said this really funny comment in the chat. AOC spoke because she had her 3 minutes to say her spiel, and it wasn't even about Joe Biden. It was just about the what's the word I'm looking for? It was about the
Nomination,
ritualistic nomination of Bernie Sanders, which was necessary so that they could tell Bernie Sanders he lost and Joe Biden could get the nomination and all that. So it wasn't even about Joe Biden or anything worthwhile. It was just a ritualistic thing about Bernie Sanders, which was really sad. She had to do it out of principle because she was the most progressive candidate they could think of that's under the age of 70 and isn't Bernie Sanders. So that's how it wraps it up. Honestly, we had a very interesting night. We tried our best. Everybody's saying we made it way more bearable, and that's what we tried to do. So shout out to all the people in the chat. Shout out to all the people that sent super chats through my channel. Shout out to everybody that hit that like button. If you haven't already, make sure you do it now. Even after the stream, it still helps to get it out there. So everybody that's watching the replay, shout out to you guys, by the way. If you couldn't join us during the live stream, thank you so much for watching afterwards. Before we wrap it up, though, we just should shout out our social media. So if you're watching, make sure you follow me on Twitter at RealCCrump. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram at Chandler.crump. And make sure you check out my website, ChandlerCrump.com. Vince Dow, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's just Vince Dow. And then all my social media, so my Instagram and my Twitter are the Vince Dow.
Yep. They're asking for, yeah. Oh, you're lagging a little bit. They're asking for 1 more billions. We have to be careful not to play the full thing. So
Billions.
Okay.
Billions.
And more.
Billions.
On top of.
Billions.
On top of.
Billions.
And then for the Kamala Harris. And we had 2 Joe.
I got hairy legs.
And you already know.
Go, you know the thing.
So I think that's really good. We have 1 for Kamala, 2 for Biden, and then 1 for Trump. Billions is amazing. Never forget billions. Always hold on, billions. We had a lot of fun, honestly. Even though this is probably one of the most boring days, and I'm starting to become reluctant about doing the stream tomorrow, but we probably still should. We did our best, folks, and thank you so much for staying with us. Dolores says, great job, Chandler and Vince. Thank you all so much for sticking with us through the entire time, and we had a lot of fun. Can't wait to see you guys all tomorrow. Vince, do you have any final words?
No, I just am ready to get this over with. So
yeah, I am ready too.
Right.
So with all of that, I'll catch you next time, free thinkers. Don't forget to spread the virus of intelligence.
And I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you. Let's